Exactly 7 years have passed. 7 years ago, the most terrible catastrophe happened. The day of the cataclysm. No one could have foreseen this. A terrible event called the opening of the dungeon occurred. A large number of people died that day. Everyone ran away in horror and asked for help. But the one thing that no one expected was the death of parents who died for nothing. And on that day, when the blink of an eye deprived one of the students, the hunter training center, of the most precious thing, he swore that he would definitely become a hunter and tear monsters to pieces. After that time, he was simply thrown out of the hunter training center. The teacher told me not to come to training anymore. But why? What did I do wrong? He asked him to understand that it takes a few months for an ordinary cadet to awaken his powers and become a true hunter. But it turns out the real problem is that the classes have been going on for 7 years now. He didn't stop there and called it a lack of talent. And if he continued to train, the Hunter Training Center would lose its reputation. The teacher is probably right. Over these 7 years, I couldn't even raise one single stat. While the renounced guy was sitting in the park and thinking about all this, he heard a conversation between a mother and daughter. The little girl has not forgotten her father, who died on that ominous day. She is sure that her dad did not run away anywhere and died, continuing to save people. The mother gave her daughter advice for the future, that if she ever encounters difficulties, she will look at them with her head held high. She inspired me, made me believe in myself and my strength. That's right, because he somehow managed to stand firm over the past 7 years. That is precisely why I could not just give up, or rather, I would say that I could not give up. At that very second, he ran towards the teacher without looking back. He didn't want to see me. He told me to leave, but he was tired of being silent and enduring. He asked for help only once, to help him pass the hunter exam, but he simply couldn't give up after going through such a long journey. He didn't care. He was angry that I couldn't understand why he couldn't get what they were trying to convey to him. In his opinion, the visit was just a waste of money. He agreed to return half, but he didn't come for the sake of miserable money. I got tired of putting up with this. I told him everything, that I don't need this damn money at all. In response, a blow flew into the face. He still dares to say that he is impudent, that everything can be seen in my eyes. What if he also had unique characteristics? There is no point in wishing for much. If he had been given even a fraction of talent, then he would not have ended up here. Oh God, what is happening? What kind of tower of trials is praising his unwavering will? No, what is this? I don't understand absolutely anything. How long can I endure this? I can't breathe anymore. I'm about to suffocate too. Again, this tower of trials, it selected all the strongest on Earth. So stop, the strongest. I think I'm going crazy. Maybe this is the second cataclysm. Completely misunderstood. They offer to choose the difficulty level. The higher the difficulty, the higher the reward. This is finally his chance. He doesn't dare to waste his only chance so stupidly after so many years. It's like a time machine. After some time, you'll find yourself on the first floor of the tower and some tests will begin. If I tell anyone, they won't believe me. The main character seriously ended up in the desert, even though he was in the teacher's yard. From now on, this is his weapon or what? Does he look like Arthur from the Lilliputians? The tower says that if you pass this test, you will receive a unique characteristic as a reward. It is hard to believe, as if it were a dream. For exactly 7 years he had been working towards this goal, trying to achieve it, and suddenly he could get it in such a strange and unusual way. You can go crazy, because this is a real jackpot in the flesh. What is this? He just wanted to take the sword, but suddenly an unexpected storm of dust and sand appears behind him. Are you serious now? This is a training mission with such a big guy. I'm afraid to imagine what will happen in a real fight. You're completely out of your mind. You'll have to run away from this weirdo for 10 whole minutes. What? I don't understand. Why was I given a fine, and what does it even mean? This is complete madness. If you run like that, will you be able to escape pursuit? Although the golem looks slow, due to its size, it moves faster than anyone could imagine. With the protagonist's endurance, he won't be able to run through the desert for another 9 minutes. There are only 2 options here. You need to fight with a sword in your hands to survive, either by running away to meet death or by fighting to face it. Even I can't imagine how to defeat this creature. Will he die a miserable death if he continues to run away like this, without accepting anything new? For 7 years, all he did was challenge the hunter's exam. If running away is not an option, then he should try to find the answer in his theoretical knowledge. Monsters like golems stop moving when their core is destroyed. But the core is located in a place inaccessible to humans. In that case, I'll have to create conditions under which I can get to this sand golem. Yes, it worked out. A chance appeared that needs to be taken advantage of immediately. Yeah, Everything went according to plan, just as he had predicted. Wait, what is this? It turns out the core is much stronger than we could have imagined. There is only one option left, to deliver a second crushing blow. Nothing worked. The golem was able to grab. He thinks that our hero does not understand where his place is, continuing to stubbornly stand his ground, like the most stubborn idiot. Enough of this. Stop putting up with it. Shut up, all of you freaks. It worked. The tower says that it was possible to destroy the core of the sand golem. Despite the fact that there were still 7 whole minutes left, I managed to do it in 3 minutes. I can't believe it. Is all this really happening in reality? It turns out he killed the golem. But he can't believe that a guy like him, who was even banished by his teacher, was able to cope with such a giant from another universe. Ha 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 ha. Yes, he did it all. He survived, finished off that scum. Now he got to the first floor. But what kind of floors are these, and how many are there in total? No one could even imagine such a reward. Unlocking a unique characteristic, 1,000 points, accelerated regeneration, and even a bonus of 500 points. Emotions are running high. Literally for 7 whole years he applied all his strength, incredible strength, mixing blood with sweat, receiving in response only ridicule and contempt. And now he stands here having received a unique characteristic necromancy. Finally, our hero will be able to become a hunter, but only if he can reach the end and stay alive. Before we have time to digest everything that has happened, a new, unprecedented miracle appears. A black fog appeared and formed in the place where the golem died. As soon as you touch this black fog, you are offered to absorb the spirit of the sand golem. He couldn't refuse and chose yes, absorbing the golem's spirit. This can't be. His skill increased by exactly 7%. The tower says that the number of souls in the domain is 1 in 5, but what could this mean? You can feel the spirit of the sand golem, as if it is inside. But when you absorb the ghost, how is it stored? What to do with it next? Now his stats are even better. Strength increased by 3, stamina increased by 2. This is real power, the surge of which not everyone will feel. All the power and energy is felt. The stats really did go up. Stats that had never gone up in 7 years of hard training. But how can that be? Everything happened so quickly and spontaneously. Yesterday you were living an ordinary life, and today you are one of the best in the world. If the hero manages to survive and return from another world, he will become a real hunter, unlike all the others, unique and invincible. After the test with the sand golem, the tower moves to the waiting room. Of course, there will be no other solution here than to go into this room. The injuries were more serious than one could imagine. But where did this flight come from? Abrupt and incomprehensible, as if he died upon landing on the floor. Well, it was possible to believe in everything up to this point. Where all the injuries disappeared, there is not a single scratch, something like the restoration of the body after passing the test, like a hero cat with 9 lives. By the way, how can there be only one single bed in such a huge room? Well, at least we should be grateful for this, that there is a bed here for rest after such an unthinkable ordeal. So you lie on your bed and lie there. And then what? What to do in the future? Is it possible to get out of the tower, or is it just a trap? From now on, you can use 5 commands: information, store, community, inventory, challenge. When you say one of them, it will be activated. 5 teams, exactly. Right now, we just need to think about how to survive. Oh no, as expected, there are still a number of so-called tests ahead. The next test will be the second one, which will begin in 23 hours, 21 minutes. Oh my god, that's all I needed. The tower added to some community. There is complete chaos in the chats. Especially if you read more carefully, you can see that not only hunters, but also ordinary people were brought into this world. What is this? It turns out that there are administrators in this chat and they monitor all messages. Yes, this message is dedicated to the main character. Perhaps the message will also describe how to quickly get out of this world. You need to read carefully, concentrate. Remember everything that will be said. The administrator talks about some magic glasses, sunglasses, or something. Stop. Now it's not funny anymore. Without these points, you won't get a drop of water in battle. These points can only be earned in the test itself. It turns out there is no other choice but to challenge not only the tower, but also yourself, to take part in the test for these damned points. I can't wait to get home because there the hero will feel protected, being a true hunter, chosen by the Almighty. The hunters who were drawn here lost all their stats because of the tower, but they should master the skills they once learned much faster. This is much better, thanks to the healing effect of the waiting room. You can devote enough time to training and preparing for the next test. Perhaps it will be surprisingly easy. By the way, a detail that was hard to miss is why the waiting room doesn't relieve the feeling of hunger either. Having bought all sorts of things in the inventory, in the end, only 40 points remain. There is less and less time left before the test, and thoughts are all about one thing. Is it possible to survive again or not? No, it would be more correct to say that the hero will definitely remain alive and safe and pass this next test. It's time to begin the second test, which will begin right now. And why exactly the forest? Does it come after the desert? There will be a battle against mutant trees. You almost guessed. You will have to kill the orc leader within the allotted time to pass the test. What the hell, orcs? There's a whole settlement of them here. The future hunter will have to enter their place, teeming with orcs, and then kill their leader. In normal dungeons, if there is a sentry in the tribe, then it should be considered that there is also a huntsman, a professional hunter. How to kill the head of the orcs if there is no confidence in victory over even one huntsman, not to mention this entire crowd. To defeat the orcs, the hunters must at least form a group, so the hero's chances of winning are close to zero. First, you need to step back and think about your strategy, and then, wait, there seems to be one way to overcome the challenge. Excellent, just wonderful. Enough logs have been collected for the torch. The huntsmen have to go hunting in the morning and return home by sunset, so there is plenty of time. There is only one means to victory, for which the hero collected logs, which will help to break through the numerical superiority, which is the greatest obstacle on the way to the goal of this test, and that is fire. According to the Hunters Association, the orc sentry does not stand guard all the time, but returns to the village during mealtimes or rest breaks. Once the fire has completely engulfed the village, you'll have to worry about running into orc rangers returning from hunting. So before the flames consume the settlement, you will need to catch at least 2 orc workers. After the death of the orc worker, the tower activated the unique characteristic necromancy. After absorbing the orc's spirit, the skill increased by 9%. This is what the hero of the second trial has been waiting for so long. Oh shit, that's a sentry, fuck you, not a chvik. Another absorption will risk weakening vigilance. But at the same time the kill's endurance has increased, you cannot be afraid of another sentry. On the way, there are 3 orc workers and 1 sentry, adding the old chieftain, making a total of 5. By absorbing the sentry's spirit, the workers pose no threat. The sentry moved away from the leader. Apparently, he decided to refuse to perform the duties of his true bodyguard. In fact, he is the last obstacle before the leader. The hero receives an achievement for having withstood the flames by creating the burn resistance skill. As soon as the leader was brought to a state of defeat, a small child runs out, but the main character trusted him in vain. You monsters are completely different from humans. What was the hero thinking when he was going to trust the orc? Maybe because he is a child. Even if there is a possibility that the orcs will become ghosts following in the footsteps of the main character, he will still not stop and will exterminate them all. The second test was also completed. As if it was easier than the first, the shield became unusable. But it was thanks to it that the hero was able to survive. The number of contenders has been reduced by almost half, hard few, although defeat was on the brink. But now, with our heads held high, we can rest easy. Oh yes, after all, the hopes were not in vain. It turns out there is a way to return to Earth. If the hero returns to Earth with only the skills he has now, then by improving his characteristics, he will be able to become an A-rank hunter. On Earth, such abilities would be called a jackpot, but it's still too early to think about this, because he only just barely made it to the 2nd floor, and the 8th floor is as far away as the moon, where a large-scale expansion of the system will take place. You need to absorb 5 spirits that were knocked out at the cost of your own life. The power fills the entire body, as if you are beyond human capabilities, something that could previously only be read about in a book. Due to rapid growth, the body is not yet accustomed to new sensations. Inventory now is the perfect time to use rewards from previous challenges. The hero hopes that he will be able to get used to this equipment before the next test, and become so strong that no one will be able to catch up with him. Here is a new transition to a new test of the 3rd floor. The theme of the test is a duel. Cave seriously, although there is no time to think, in 10 seconds the dark guard will appear. Like the sand golem, it can appear from anywhere, so you need to be on your guard. To pass this test, you must kill the dark guard, your double. If the hero had not reacted in time, his spine would have been broken in half. Wait a minute, his pose. Is this creature now imitating the hero's movements? Well, I'll have to fight him to test one theory. The first blow went through perfectly, without any resistance. If this demon really does repeat all the moves and attacks, you will have to use your own weaknesses to spin him around. What was that just now, as if the blow was reflected? With perfect timing, the tower activated a new feature, the exclusive effect of the assassin's cloak. Time. There is only 1 minute left. If the fight drags on, the hero will be in danger. You need to deal with him within 1 minute. It worked, just a little more. The main thing is to keep to the set time. It's not over yet. Even though the blow was critical, there's no point in celebrating the victory too soon. He doesn't move. Even though that creature has a good healing skill, it still takes some time to recover. There is no time to hesitate. The Dark Guardian must be killed right now. But how can this be done without a sword? Yes, it may be true madness what the hero is doing, but there is no other option. It is better to pull off such a crazy trick than to die, because either he or the guard will survive. All that was left of the guard were screams, groans, and cries. The hero finally finished off this creature. But did he do it in time? After the victory, the tower congratulated on overcoming the 3rd floor of the test tower. The winner was healed of all injuries and defects. Now we should expect the 4th floor. Impeccable strength and healing, perhaps the best on the entire planet, although only 3 of the 8 test floors have been completed. The spirit of the double that the hero acquired in the cave is now inside him after passing the 3rd floor test. The consistency of this spirit is so thick that it cannot be compared to the monsters it has previously absorbed. From now on, from this moment on, the hero can absorb not only souls but also skills. Just like how accelerated regeneration works, only after you've had to be on the brink of death several times. In his entire life, the thought that he would be assigned such a mind-blowing, unique characteristic had never crossed his mind. Of course, one should not lose sight of the fact that the description clearly states the probability of acquisition. You just have to test your luck, and that's it. This is already the 3rd time I've returned to the waiting room, so the atmosphere already seems so familiar, as if I were at home. Oh, there's information about the next combo challenge here, which means we can start preparing instead of just sitting around. So far, nothing is clear. Will there be a joint test and a team of players formed? And since we are talking about a competition between hunters, wouldn't that mean killing each other? It turns out that in the next test, there is a chance that the hero will have to kill a person. The 4th floor test has begun. There are 24 hours left until the end. The condition for successfully passing the joint test is to defeat the Goblin King within the allotted time, and the condition for failure is the destruction of all the candidates selected for the team. The penalty is death. Now is exactly that awkward moment in an unfamiliar company of people, especially since the hero has recently only crossed paths with monsters and their souls. One of the team members suggested that they introduce themselves to each other since they had become one. Lee Ha-yeon, a girl who specializes in providing support to the team, and is also an E-rank hunter on the outside. The guy Lee Sung-hoon specializes in close combat and is a D-rank outside hunter. And here is our main character, who has not revealed his name for so long, Han Sung-yoon, a specialist in close combat. But on the outside, I am not a hunter. I am only undergoing training. It turns out that you are just a cadet. What a fighter I have found. However, Khan is confident that he fights well and can handle the role assigned to him, especially since he has already passed 3 tests alone, showing good results. Sung-hoon warns in advance that if he decides that Han is just a pest to the team, he will kill him in that very second. Ah ha 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 ha, yes, the hero has long been accustomed to this kind of look. Now this red-haired guy calls me a cadet, asks me to stay behind him and take care of the little ones. Not only does he irritate the main character, but he can also confidently say that his abilities are quite sufficient to return all the words he said to Khan in abundance, because in the test tower, skills decide everything. How can goblins move in such a battle formation? At first, the redhead appears so that Khan does nothing and stands peacefully behind his back. And now he allegedly does not intend to fight. And without even looking in his direction, there are no words, only emotions. Liha cast a spell, but it will be completed any minute, and in response, they only ask to stop chattering and brew some kind of buff, preferably as soon as possible. Khan didn't think twice before rushing to help the redhead, even though the girl didn't want to let him go. But if he left, then who will cover her from behind? Wait, what is this? Where are there so many dead bodies? There weren't any for a while. Oh, damn. Another moment and the guy will fall. And before his death, he chooses only to complain about why he was so unlucky to be on the same team as the cadets. He shifted all his problems onto the main character due to his lack of experience. This is a cadet, because in the presentation there was nothing about his skills. Now it was the turn of the main character to make fun of him, asking Lee Sung-hoon to stand aside. How amazing it sounded. It gave me goosebumps. It's better not to get under his feet. After killing an incredible number of goblins, Khan receives the achievement, Goblin Hunter. What will smart Lee Sung-hoon say about this now? Has his impression of Han changed or not? The black haze of his unique characteristic remains invisible to the team's eyes, so he can absorb souls as much as he wants without any problem. By absorbing one of the skills of the Goblin Guardian, the effect is revealed. The overall field of view is expanded, and it becomes easier to notice approaching subjects. So this is what it's like to see the world from a wider perspective. You can celebrate your victory, another hit from the jackpot. But the redhead still can't sit still. He thinks that luck is on his side, only because Khan was confronted by weak goblins. But be that as it may, he praised him for his efforts. From that moment on, Khan decided that he would lead the operation, moving in the vanguard, thinking that this formation would bring the greatest benefit to the team. After which he asked the red-haired impudent one if there were any objections to him, to which the answer was clear. He became the main character's pawn, asking for instructions, although he had recently been laughing at him. Once all the instructions were given, Miss Lee Ha-yeon resumed searching for the target. Although the goblins had been attacking with varying frequency, everything had become too quiet now. At that moment, Khan rushed somewhere. The team was also confused and did not understand anything. It became clear that most likely other candidates had already been here. It's crazy that they have rocket turbines instead of legs. However, after touching the corpses, Khan felt warmth, which meant they had been killed recently. If they hurried, they would be able to catch up with their competitors. If the other team wins, our team who failed the test will face death. I'm sick of hunting goblins. This should be the last fight before the boss fight. Stupid, ruthless creatures, they actually think I can escape. Unknown team, new faces, but the character who killed the goblin is named Lee Shiyan Hyungnin. Everything is clear with him. Either he caught a star and considers himself a cool hunter, or he's an egoist, or both. And here's that very main door, the door that leads to the boss. They want to finish all this as soon as possible and have a good rest, but why did this team get to the door so quickly? What's the catch? After opening the doors, the tower announced that the boss battle would begin until only one team of 2 remained, which meant the second team was still there. But who were the opponents? On the other side was our team, which still managed to catch up with the contenders. The leader of the rivals was wildly shocked by what he saw, wanted to quickly deal with him and go to rest, but Khan ruined everything for him. Khan took full responsibility on himself. Firstly, he decided to fight alone. Secondly, he asked Miss Lee Ha-yeon to provide him with a buff that increases agility, and she can provide all the other buffs to Lee Sung-hoon. In response to the order, a compliment came from Miss. She was shocked that she had the chance to see with her own eyes that Mr. Han was so strong. But perhaps people will be more terrible than all these monsters put together. The Khan understood everything and warned that if he found himself in danger, he would immediately give a signal. At that moment, Khan went to his inevitable death, because the chances of survival in a fight of 1 against 3 were small. The hero was convinced that he had already surpassed the skill level of the average hunter. There was nothing more to lose. Besides all this, he had killed more than 30 goblins. The opponents tensed up and prepared for battle. But now the current Khan is strong enough to cope with this test. Lee Ji-hoo was ordered to use his shield at full power immediately. For the Khan, this was not a big problem. Lee Ji flew away with his sword like a cork from a bottle. It's strange that his skills are inferior, but strangely enough, he easily reflects all attacks. In this case, you should act more decisively. The protagonist caught the enemy in a mistake and is ready to deliver a critical hit. He didn't expect that Khan would be able to see the trace of the blade aimed at him. Khan had never been so strong. The enemy did not understand what to do in such a situation. In a word, bad luck. The tower congratulated on completing a special task. Additional bonuses will be awarded for completing the 4th floor. This is something that requires effort. From the state of her leader, Miss believed that he was in shock because of the murder he had just committed. She thought that he was a strong and cold-blooded man. Without a break, he immediately suggests going and fighting the boss. The whole team was absolutely in favor. They would finally be able to help in the fight. The first blow was again the Khan's. He jumped on the back and inflicted a series of multiple wounds. The test target, the Goblin King, has been destroyed. Shocked by everything that was happening, the redhead did not hesitate and quickly left his team. Khan said goodbye to the miss, hoping that she would arrive safe and sound. But she interrupted him and said that perhaps her words were out of place. But she believed that Khan only did what had to be done. To which he replied that someone had to kill the enemy team anyway, and if Miss had refused, he would have entered the battle. After Mrs. Words, my soul felt much lighter. Well, it turns out that you can still add each other as friends, since right now the applicant Lee Ha-yeon sent a friend request. This is definitely not the end of their communication. This is only the beginning. It could be said that the fourth floor's test was completely passed due to the protagonist's strength, so Miss Lee felt like she was indebted to him, and that made her feel a little uneasy. She said at the end that when Han returned to Earth, let him find Lee Han-yeon from the White Guild. Left alone, you need to make a decision, to absorb the human soul or not. When the hero became convinced that he was capable of something like this, he postponed the absorption process for later, as he felt that he was about to cross an irreversible line. The decision has been made, it will be too late to change it, although he has no intention of killing people to become stronger. In a situation where there is no right to choose, he is ready to commit murder. After his very first desire to become a hunter, new ambitions began to grow in his soul. The test tower has given him a chance, and Khan must take full advantage of it as he climbs to the top of the test tower. The entrance to the waiting room on the 5th floor has been completed. The expansion of the system has begun. A ranking system for applicants has been created, and the results of the tests have been summarized. It turns out that you can choose your own nickname, the so-called nickname. His nickname was changed to Hunter, very original. Wow, what statistics, everything is in plain sight. Maybe Khan is somewhere on this list. Yes, he is on this list. His ranking is much higher than he could have thought, because the candidates who entered the top 50 will be designated as pioneers. The one who received the pioneer status will receive advantages on the 8th floor. If you continue to maintain your pioneer status up to the 8th floor, you can gain the Halo privilege. It's like providing a skill or something, but you can find out when the right time comes. By this time, 4 souls out of 5 had already accumulated in the possession. Now the hero feels that he has finally crossed the boundaries of human capabilities. With the help of the Hearthstone, you can leave the Tower of Trials for 3 days and return to your original location. It's worth checking if he can move with his equipment. The long-awaited moment has arrived when Khan will return to Earth for 3 days. The absorption process begins. The final destination is Earth. The challenger Han Sung has safely returned to his original place of residence, and in 3 days, he will be moved back to the testing tower. Seeing his native room, such familiar walls, the hero did not believe in his return. First of all, he needs to get a good night's sleep. Compared to the bed in the waiting room, his sleeping place is a real heavenly delight. Well, you'll definitely get some sleep. What an unbearable stench. I should probably wash up first. It was worth checking just in case. It turns out that you really can take items from the testing tower with you to the ground. This means that other applicants can also take their items to the ground with them. You need to act as quickly as possible. Soon, the number of those returning to Earth will increase, which will lead to a sharp increase in the number of items and a drop in the prices of hunters' equipment on the market. It is urgent to get rid of the equipment as quickly as possible, but the problem is that only those who have the hunter qualification can sell items on the market. Initially, the hero only planned to apply for the hunter's exam and pass it during his next return. But it turns out that Khan has a lot more to do than he could have thought. He called the instructor and asked if he remembered him. In response, you only hear talk about money. Why not apply for a refund online? Khan replied that they might not return the tuition fees he had paid. In return, the instructor voiced one single request. If the hero was going to ask again to allow him to resume training, he would be refused. Apparently, Khan forgot how his midterm assessment went. He was given an F rank with great difficulty. Still, it was much easier to persuade the instructor than it seemed. They made a deal that today the exam to obtain the hunter's qualification would take place. In proportion to Khan's progress, his body has changed greatly for the better. Now is not the time to admire yourself. It's time to hurry to the exam. This is the ordinary everyday life that the hero missed so much. He even enjoys seeing his neighbors passing by. She was surprised because she didn't remember him being that tall. As luck would have it, not a single taxi stops at this very moment. Running to the destination is also a good option. It will be there soon. The most important thing is not to be late. Khan had been through so much in the last few days that it felt like at least 100 years had passed. Examiner Kim In-hoo, who will be evaluating Han's test. It's all clear. Khan's trainer is a corrupt scumbag. He persuaded the examiner to have Khan expelled as quickly as possible. Monsters with the worst compatibility with the examinee were prepared for testing. Previously, Khan always chose difficulty 1 and still lost to the little goblin every time because he was weak. Everyone was in complete shock that the future hunter chose the 10th difficulty. The exam begins, the hunt for the Firebird. They think that Khan is a piece of trash who will never pass the test because they tweaked his weapon a little bit, thus ruining it. But the reasons why the trainer behaved this way became clear. Having finally become a hunter, it seemed to him that he was the best, but gradually the gap with his peers began to increase, and eventually he gave up trying to fill this gap. The world of hunters is based on innate talent and stopped trying to change anything. People are forced to give up when they feel like they have a wall in front of them that they can't overcome. And it's not just the coach who does this, but everyone else. Therefore, in his opinion, it was time for Han Sung-yun to give up as well. Even if it's a low-level weapon, there's no way it can crack that easily. With his stupid grin, the coach looks at Khan and wonders what he will do now with the broken sword. Well, the hero is even glad that everything turned out this way. This is the perfect situation to test the skills he managed to acquire on the 4th floor of the test tower. Wow, this is even much better than the movement speed increase from the assassin's cloak buff. As expected, the sword is too short. What Khan is doing right now does not suit the instructor, because all this is not happening according to his plan. The exam is complete. Now Khan definitely has the qualifications of a true hunter. Ah ha ha ha. The hero even smirks at him. He didn't calculate that the slab would be able to reach them. Khan receives not only a certificate, but also congratulations on successfully passing the exam. Since he is registered with the Hunting Association, he can now officially engage in hunting activities. The instructor can't calm down and demands an explanation from the examiner as to how this could have happened. The examiner thought that the hero would fail within 10 seconds, but in the end, on the contrary, he passed the test within that time. But he himself was perplexed. Did everything in his power because based on the stated data, Cadet Han Song-yun would never have been able to pass this test. When Khan came in, he specifically asked about the instructor's condition, because he knew that he was angry. Now the hero has the opportunity to call a scumbag, because his rank is much higher than the rank of an instructor. This infuriated him so much that he went ballistic on Khan. Contrary to expectations, he easily fell for the provocation, thereby showing his weakness. A direct blow to the solar plexus and the instructor's ardor is taken away as if by magic. Never before has Khan acted in such a self-defense framework. He can give free rein to his emotions and take revenge for all the ridicule and bullying. And this is the answer to all his aggressive actions. From that moment on, Han was offered to work as a direct employee of the Hunters Association, receiving a salary of 1 billion won. But the hunter made a truly correct decision. It is not in his rules to make a deal with someone who is not at all trustworthy, because not long ago, he wanted to fail the exam. Rumor has it that a mysterious phenomenon called the trial tower has been observed among hunters lately. Everyone finally found out about the testing tower. The Khan got rid of the equipment at a very good price. After all, these 3 days were not wasted, but spent very productively. Well, it seems like my time on Earth is coming to an end. In a few seconds, he will be moved to the testing tower. Now the hero is once again looking forward to his further progress after an amazing time on Earth. Upon his return, he will again have a lot of work to do. So Khan returned home. But deep down, he still missed this place. As expected, you can freely move objects between the tower and the real world. I left the chest with money and the stone in my inventory for now. It all looks like a game, not real life. Now it's time to stretch your body a little, and without wasting time, you need to move on to overcome the 5th floor. The tower announced the creation of the Eye of Truth Skill A. What could this mean? Using mana, you can gain information about the target you are observing, and also to determine whether the opponent's words are true. This means that in addition to receiving data about the object of observation, Khan is also able to distinguish between lies and truth, like a lie detector. This is a pure jackpot. That's how lucky I was. Even though the hunter paid a lot of points for the sword, he really liked its options. There is still hope that it will definitely be useful with such options. 10% chance to apply lightning effect when hitting an enemy. So after so much time, the very moment has come when you will have to fight again and go through floors. The 5th floor is already on the way. The theme of this test is hunting. The time given is 24 hours, a whole day. The condition for successfully passing the test is defeating the werewolf boss in the Wolf Gorge. And the condition for failing the test is death, or the expiration of the allotted time. Before Khan had time to digest all the information presented by the testing tower, countless wolves rushed at him. What the hell is this? Why are they so weak? Even the sand golem on the 1st floor resisted. Your mother, it's not even Khan who should take back his words, but me too. It was in vain that you started stuttering about the golem. These dogs are 10 times bigger than that very golem. Yes, the Tower of Trials never disappoints. It loves to spontaneously present such gifts. Now Khan even starts having fun going through the tests. Awesome. He manages to have fun on the 5th floor, and what will happen on the 8th? We'll start drinking tea with monsters. The hero himself believes that he is slowly going crazy. The accelerated regeneration skill has been increased to rank D, and the hunter's dagger E skill proficiency has reached 100%. This dagger that the hunter received on the 3rd floor has also almost reached its growth limit. It is necessary to obtain a new fencing skill. The Khan asks the wolves to attack him, lest his games end in grief and defeat. He had already managed to hunt 3 times, and it turned out that the sword lightning effect appeared even less often than one might think. Excellent. The mastery of the unique characteristic also grows steadily, up to 16%. If Khan gives 100%, he will be able to achieve an increase in his unique characteristic. However, the main character has already almost reached the middle of the wolf gorge. What the hell is this? Is there a conflict in the pack, or what should I understand? Couldn't they all tear each other's throats out at once? No, judging by the clear cut, the blow was delivered with a sword, and the traces left nearby only confirmed Khan's assumption. Apparently, he was not the only one in this location. It's time to activate the Eye of Truth, the aura trace. This is the trace left after a rather skillful aura carefully split the wall. Aura, is it one of the skills or not? There are too many nuances that just don't fit in my head. It makes me feel uneasy. It's somewhere nearby, we need to hurry. The roar is coming from the fucking place. What the hell is going on? What Khan saw through his eyes shocked him because he had never seen anything like this before, not to mention in life, but here, in the testing tower. The werewolf boss, which is a condition for passing the test, has died. The reason is being investigated. Please wait. Are you saying that the test target, the werewolf boss, is dead? Hooray! Finally, the analysis is complete, and now Khan will find out the real cause of the boss's death. In the challenger Han Sung-yun's test, someone's intrusion was detected. But how could that even happen? The objective of the trial has been changed to kill a challenger from another dimension who has invaded your trial and killed your target to complete the objectives. Invasion, you say he came from another dimension? It all sounds somehow very strange. Does this mean that the testing tower exists in multiple dimensions at the same time, other than Earth? Before Khan could even begin to wonder how he had ended up here, the horned bastard asked if he was alive, not expecting anything like that from a challenger from an underdeveloped world. It's all clear. Khan is contagious. Now this weirdo has gone nuts too. The hunter could not even imagine that such a situation would arise where the target of his test would be killed by an intruder from another dimension. However, he was extremely lucky that the test did not fail. I wonder if this stranger fights as boldly as he communicates or not, since he considers Khan so frightened that he is unable to utter a word. Well, the weirdo made a deal. He thought you could deal with Khan so easily, but it wasn't that way. Something clearly went wrong. Khan planned to cut him in half, but not everything went so smoothly. It was the first time in so long that Khan had missed a blow and been thrown back. But I certainly didn't expect this. It's good that he has increased regeneration and will be able to recover quickly. The boss didn't expect the hero to be able to block the aura. If he allowed himself to be broken in half, he would have met with quick and painless pain. The system recognized the enemy as an intruder. What the hell? Khan had never heard of anything like that. Why did something like this happen in his test? The enemy asks not to hold a grudge. The tower was originally such an unpredictable place. That's it. We need to leave long conversations. It's time to know when to stop. Khan left him, asking him to tell him in more detail what multi-level implementation was. Before the story itself, he said that the main character was already dead in any case. Among the system options, the expansion of which occurs from the 8th floor, is the so-called floor implementation. If you buy a ticket for a floor implementation in the store, you can get the opportunity to interfere with other people's testing. The enemy also called this place an underdeveloped world, which means he came from another dimension. At the moment of the question whether he was from this dimension, Khan instantly activated the Eye of Truth, and his opponent's words turned out to be true. The hero committed an extremely unpleasant act. How can he judge the words and actions of the enemy? Well, the hunter can't do anything about it. The desire was too great. The opponent is perplexed as to how this barbaric scum still dares to be insolent. In total, Khan was getting information, so he can now share one funny fact with his rival. Thanks to the skill of pain tolerance, my injured arm practically does not bother me. In other words, the hero held it not at all because it was unbearably painful for him. If he let go of his hand, it would automatically heal under the skill's effect. but he felt that the enemy would only be able to share information if Han looked pathetic. Activating the accelerated regeneration skill. It turns out that the hunter was testing his healing skills. Well, be that as it may, if Khan's strength is only what he demonstrated earlier, then it will be impossible to avoid death. But how is that possible? The strength should increase rapidly. You can increase the indicators by using the available spirits. Strength increased by 2, dexterity increased by 3, endurance increased by 3, exchange increased by 5, durability increased by 7. The enemy was surprised that Khan, in addition to healing, had a unique characteristic. The exclusive effect of the assassin's cloak has been activated. Movement speed has increased by 15%, but the remaining time is 1 minute. The stranger can't understand why his challenger from the 5th floor has so many skills. Aura is a high-tier skill, so a hit like this can do some serious damage, but Han is definitely ahead of it in terms of stats. This makes it easy for the hunter to avoid critical hits, but the real problem lies in the armor. Yes, that very problem lies in the armor. It is high-level equipment that cannot be destroyed by Khan's current abilities. However, if you continue to strike blow after blow endlessly, yeah, that's what we need right now. Thunder Sword, 10% chance to apply lightning effect on headshot. If the armor had a lightning rod function, it would have added trouble. But fortunately, the risk was worth it. The opponent believes that he should have won from the start, because he is facing a 5th floor challenger. Where did such a huge amount of skills come from? He is confused. The opponent is very stupid if he relied entirely on his one high-level skill in armor. Now it's time to meet your end. But the stranger stopped the hunter. He was ready to give answers to all the questions that interested Khan. Khan had no need for this, so he ended his enemy's suffering. It's getting easier and easier for him to kill each time. But if a hunter felt awkward while piercing someone else's flesh, then that would be a much more serious problem. The test tower congratulates you on completing the 5th floor of tests. Khan absorbed the spirit of Cade Adrax, that was his name, and his skill increased to 15%. Phew, I almost blew the opportunity to absorb a soul. It turns out that if you die in another dimension, you will simply dissipate like a mirage. But why doesn't the reward message come? What the hell? Absolutely crap. The tower says that the difficulty level and the reward do not match. The content of the reward has been completely revised. As a reward for the breakthrough, I received a skill of 3 absolute AA, 7,500 points. As an additional bonus reward, another 3,500 points. And instead of the promised reward of rank C, they gave a reward of rank A. The invading knight must have been strong enough for the system to consider the difficulty of the test that Khan had passed to be much higher than originally stated. However, the hunter still can't believe that he will be able to hit the jackpot in the form of an A-rank skill. The 6th floor waiting room has been entered, debuffs and injuries have been cured, and information about the hero will be displayed on the test summary board. Either way, Khan is faced with an invasion from another dimension, and the testing tower really can catch you off guard. He tried his best to save the tickets without sending questions to the 8th floor, but he would have to use them right now. Khan will ask what a floor infiltration is, and whether it is possible to find out about an upcoming invasion in advance. Wow, the response was delivered so quickly. At least they read what was written there. Floor intrusion is a system that allows you to enter a challenger test that has a gap of no more than 10 floors, but you can only invade personal tests, and it is impossible to penetrate special and combined tests. It is a system that expands from the 8th floor and is currently unavailable. It's like breaking a ladder for someone climbing it. This information is not available on the current floor because the request was only half fulfilled. The ticket to submit the question will not be used. Well, a ticket for sending questions is not all powerful either. However, Khan is glad that his ticket remains safe and sound. Now it's time to use the items that the hero took with him from the ground. You can use the Croken Magic Tower's restoration chest to restore the Secret Hunter's shield. The remaining amount of use. One of the Croken Magic Tower's restoration chest has been exhausted, but now the shield is intact and beautiful. To be honest, buying a Purity Stone may seem like a waste of money, but Han believes that the feeling of freshness and vigor that comes with bathing is worth a couple thousand won, and he deserves it. No doubt about it. The 6th floor test will start in 1 hour and 12 minutes. There is still time. It is worth checking the test results board and looking into the community. How can this be? Seriously, 3rd place Khan has already risen quite high from 16th place. Does that bring him any closer to getting first mover advantages? Well, he'll have to go all the way to the 8th floor to find out about those advantages first. Oh my god, what's going on with the chat? There's more violence and language here than in any fight. What's wrong with all of them? In front of Khan, there is literally complete chaos and disorder. What the hell happened here? The mental resistance skills that are so heavily marketed these days have the attractive effect of reducing some of the mental shock. But they are also a double-edged sword. One user constantly incites everyone to fight each other. This is the same challenger who spoiled the atmosphere in the 4th floor community chat. Will it really be the same this time? First of all, you should remember this nickname well, Sudigong Yu. The 6th floor test begins. The theme of this test is occupation. The time given is surprisingly very little, only 50 minutes. During the allotted time, it is necessary to capture one of the strongholds in any direction. The reward will be a random chest. This time it's already the sea. We hope there won't be any underwater locations in the future. The selection of candidates is complete. The tower gave the command to work together with their teammates to pass the test. But there is a nuance, where actually I say Khan's team, except Khan himself. Why are his team members taking so long to show up? Are they asleep or something? This is an attack on his own team, what this unknown fool is doing. In response, he only said something rude to Khan, calling him a bastard. If Khan had joined the community, he would have already known what was going on. Murder is the easiest way to get achievements. That is, he wants to say that it is much more important for him to earn as many achievements as possible, and at whose expense this is done is no longer important. Khan's hypocrisy goes beyond all bounds, in his opinion, but before the main character starts playing the role of a conscientious and honest person, it is better to look around. There was nothing but death all around. Teammates were killing each other, asking for help, but all the blame lay only on the tower. People were mad with achievements. They were ready to tear each other's throats for them. Die quickly and give me a chance to earn an achievement? These are the words with which the murders occur. Now Khan understood everything, not realizing at what cost they were doing this. But there are still adequate people who are of the same opinion, and consider what is happening around them to be a vile betrayal not only towards each other, but also towards themselves. You can't trust anyone here. Having gained their trust, he immediately plunged the sword into the chest. Ha, even without really understanding what's what. You shake your opponent's hand without a drop of doubt. And how, I wonder, will he now be going to draw his sword? Cold-blooded killer has earned the vile killer achievement, increasing his toughness by 1. Comrade Khan can't calm down. He keeps trying to convince him of his desire to achieve something, because everyone wants it deep down inside. He thought that the main character was so stupid that he would senselessly let himself be killed. How naive he was, or rather he was naive. Khan received the traitor achievement, increasing his strength by 1. Weak special test, combined test, just loud words that make chickens laugh. But at the same time, this test can be safely called a kind of event specifically for Khan. Here he will be able to improve the mastery of his unique characteristic, and if he is lucky, he will be able to throw a couple of new skills into his piggy bank. However, he does not intend to specifically attack to kill the other challengers, but will simply fulfill the conditions of the test and fight those who decide to attack Khan first. One of the candidates activated the Iron Dome, considering this test ideal for him, who had learned water magic. He probably thought so until Khan stormed in on him. While this magician is under protection, he has the right to smile at the hunter. This dome is impenetrable iron. I wonder what he will answer to this. Who is the bastard here now? Although Khan's actions were a little cruel, the main thing is the end result. The rest of the contenders were horrified by what they saw and decided to move in a different direction, considering Khan a ranker, in simple terms, a top player, or simply a person occupying a high position somewhere. In this case, Khan is in 3rd place in the list of results. With his actions, Khan can instill fear in his opponents. To be honest, although he wants to earn achievements, as many achievements as possible, he still does not want to make unnecessary kills. Do not forget about karma. The main character has captured a stronghold. The capture will be interrupted if someone from the other team ends up on the territory. It turns out that you only need to hold out for another 9 minutes and 59 seconds. The high-ranking challengers, who had immediately confirmed on the 5th floor to participate in the next trial without using the return stones, should already be outside the 6th floor. But most of the people around Han were low-ranking challengers. So perhaps breaking through the trial would be easier than he thought. The test on the 6th floor makes you think about many things: distrust of others, This is the reality of a low-ranking challenger. Darkness and gloom nurtured by the Tower of Trials. But feigned sympathy is real hypocrisy. Even if Khan managed to drive his rivals away by diverting their attention to another stronghold, eventually someone would die anyway. Message from the tower that the enemy has entered Khan's territory. The capture has been suspended. Apparently, this is their leader, grinning at Khan's confused face. In this test, the team consists of 2 people, and 4 suddenly appeared on the territory. Khan immediately understood what was going on. It was clear even without explanations. It must have been 4 notorious bastards who got together and formed a squad of killers in order to earn more achievements. Bingo, you got the gist of it right away, and now all I can wish for is death, you bastard. By using the unique characteristic of heart fusion, Challenger Han Sung-yoon now shares the pain of Challenger Kim Jin-hyun. Pain tolerance skill activated, all types of pain are reduced by 15%. What, this is seriously seawater, but what harm can it do to the main character? Han touched the water of the 6th floor of the trial, so his strength is reduced by 10, agility is reduced by 10, endurance is reduced by 10, the penalty duration is 2 minutes 59 seconds. It turns out that there is a fine for touching the water, but who could have known it was not mentioned anywhere? This is really happening in a real, truly terrible situation. Of course, for a regular player, but not for Khan, a strong and crazy hunter. The strategy of depriving the enemy of weapons and reducing his stats, admittedly, is pretty good, but they made one mistake. They chose the wrong opponent, one who was not their equal. Khan received many achievements after a critical hit, the achievement of killing with 1 blow, and also created the skill of contempt for the weak F. Its effect is that if the opponent cannot surpass any of the user's stats, the power increases according to the difference in stats. The hero received the achievement Merciless Killer, agility increased by 1. The opponents do not understand what to do, attack simultaneously or simply surrender. The leader of the opposing team showed his weakness and finished off his comrade. Literally, Khan shares the same pain with the victim, but fortunately there is no real damage. The only problem is that this pain limits the hero's actions. If Khan takes one more step towards them, this sick idiot will cut his throat too. Thanks to the pain tolerance skill, the hero is able to move somehow, but the catch is that at such speed it is difficult to properly react to the enemy's attack. As expected, there is only one answer. You need to kill the challenger who activated the heart fusion as soon as possible. If not now, then there will be no other chance. There is no point in delaying. The feeling that Khan's throat had literally been cut penetrated his entire being. The enemy was doomed to death. His last words were a compliment to Khan, Psycho. He got the achievement Cold-Blooded Slasher, earning 1,500 points. Time is up, stronghold is captured. Whether it was someone's instigation that many people were delighted with the killing at the beginning of the challenge, but in the end, the final winners were those who kept the team together. Of course, there were some exceptions. He did nothing wrong. It was all the fault of the bastard who couldn't dodge the blow. In the eyes of other contenders, does Khan look like a monster like him? What do they think of Khan? The hero has passed the 6th floor of the test tower. The random draw box B will be sent to Khan's inventory. As a breakthrough reward, 8,000 points and the long-awaited move to the waiting room are assigned as a reward. Khan absorbed all the spirits of the players he killed personally, with his own hands. Upon entering the 7th floor test waiting room, the tower activated the movement viewing function. There is even an S-class, as the protagonist thought. The first return was not a simple achievement. Random draw box B. After opening the box, the hero will randomly receive one of the items from F to B rank. If the rank varies from F to B, then you probably shouldn't wait much. The main thing is to just pull out any item and start absorbing souls. Yeah, I can't even find the words. There are no words, only emotions. How to understand this green miracle? What kind of Pokemon is this? Does Hana need to catch it or something? You can endlessly watch the fire burning, the water flowing, and Han trying to catch up with the green Pokemon from his own gift for completing the 6th floor. Yes, I got you. Now you can't escape the hunter's hands. Khan just got hungry. Okay, I'm kidding. And here even I felt bad. The Pokemon is quite cute, so Khan tried to treat him more gently. Maybe he considered him a goblin, like those from the village. That's right. After a critical hit, the main character drew an item corresponding to the highest class in the random draw box. But if we're talking about the highest class, then Khan knocked out a rare class B item. A pendant made of forged iron increases the effects of metallurgy and sword skills by 7%. And when mana is input, the exclusive effect of steel defense is activated. When activated, the skin absorbs 10% of all physical damage. This pendant has much better stats than most A-class items. Equipped with both attack and defense, it is a truly rogue item. Khan didn't expect anything from this draw. If you look closely, then as he appears in the waiting room, he immediately hits the jackpot. There is just one downside. There is an exclusive effect that absorbs mana at the speed of light. Khan should conserve his mana to use the pendant at a critical moment, because no one can predict what will happen next. Now it's time to check the status window of the unique characteristic that was recently assigned rank D. Why does the tower immediately ask whether Han is ready for the test or not? Isn't there usually a waiting time before the next floor is challenged? If there is an opportunity to start the test a little faster, then there is nothing wrong with that. The faster the main character starts, the faster he will finish. Of course, in a good way, knock on wood. As Han thought, the other's waiting time has also disappeared, but no one cares about it. No one is particularly interested in the advantages of being the first mover. And the atmosphere in the community is one of desperate desire to return home. Isn't it because most of them are low-ranking hunters? And compared to the 6th floor, the manner of communication has changed a lot. Khan is sure that all these maniacs simply lay low, kept quiet, and don't stick their heads out. One should also be wary of maniac killers who use the lives of their comrades as mere tools for gaining profit. And most importantly, Han needs to develop skills that won't be shaken by any variables, because the 8th floor is just around the corner. The hunter remembered about the unique characteristic status window. What? More specifics have been added to the description of the basic effect. If previously the main emphasis was on strengthening stats, now souls can be used as magical power. The hero hoped that something like an increase in the probability of obtaining skills would appear. Anything can happen. So the ability to protect the body will never be superfluous. Well, isn't it time for the winner to test how effective the spiritual shield is? It's worth the risk, because even if he cuts off his arm, the waiting room is equipped with a healing buff and everything will be fine. The spirit absorbed the damage inflicted on the user. Player Wook Sung. Jin's soul has disappeared. Souls in possession are 3 out of 30. Wow, the efficiency exceeded all expectations. It is better not to absorb all the souls, but always have a couple in reserve. To ensure your own protection, who knows? Suddenly, an alien from another dimension will attack again. Oh, how is that possible? Why did Khan fall to 4th place? After all, he distinguished himself more than the others. But there is no need to be upset, because to get the title of Pioneer, you just need to enter the top 50. The hero is very tired this day. He would like to lie down and take a nap, but there is no time to drag things out. It is time to challenge the next test on the 7th floor. A new test has begun. Its theme is proof. Time is given 40 minutes. The condition for successfully passing the test is to pass 3 tests in the allotted time. Quite a strange corridor for a hunter. The atmosphere is completely different from the previous tests. Literally, there is no sense of anyone's presence, and this is extremely annoying to the main character. The testing tower has thrown Khan into the first testing zone. He has to prove that the hero has overcome his fears. It would be better if there was no clown here. Wow, this location is eerily familiar, as if Khan was there not so long ago, a very strange feeling. The tower wants to say that it transferred the main character to the 1st floor of the tests on the 1st day, that is. That's right. As expected, this is the 2nd encounter with the sand golem. Now this space is a reproduction of the training test. Honestly, now Khan can defeat the sand golem with his eyes closed. Doesn't this mean that the hero will soon find himself on the 8th floor? But there was one, but even several Noahs. Was the golem originally so huge? I don't want to be pessimistic, but it seems like its dimensions are slightly larger than the 1st floor. While the sand golem didn't fully understand what was happening, Khan decided to quickly hit him on the empty head to see what would happen to him. It's strange. The golem's weak point is the core, but the hero can't find it anywhere. Where could it be? Perhaps the more massive the golem, the deeper the core is hidden in the body. If he can't deal with him with one blow, Khan will simply cut him into pieces. As expected, Khan only cuts sand from time to time. It is necessary at all costs to find and destroy the core. Oh shit. With his tactics, the main character only made the sand golem furious and aggressive. You can go crazy. Dodging a blow is not a problem. But what if a sand wave falls? Well, now Khan has definitely gone crazy. He lies in the sand and smiles. It's time to activate the 3 absolute skill. Wow, the hero didn't expect from himself that he could cut off his arm with one blow. This already reminds me of something. When Han encountered the so-called floor infiltration, he was incredibly angry. But now Han should thank that knight for intruding into the test. Even though the bastard is being restored with sand, Han must still continue to slash with his sword until he can find the core. After such a number of cutting blows, it is unlikely that the golem will be able to recover so quickly. Khan starts to get furious. He pierced the entire golem, but he couldn't find the damn core there. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Khan compliments the sand golem that he is so cute, although not long ago he was aggressive and angry. The golem was embarrassed. It was the first time he heard that he was cute. It seems that the resource called sand that the golem's body is made of cannot be infinitely extracted from the environment. Khan understands this perfectly well and again rushes to reduce the sand golem. The golem clearly didn't like this. The proposal wasn't particularly to his liking. Finally, the main character was able to find the core. All that was left was to break through it, and the task would be easy. The core is located on the golem's back. Most likely, the body was covered with a thick layer of sand, so getting to it became extremely difficult than on the first floor. Khan still needs to speed up, because 40 minutes are allotted for the entire floor. But only the golem took about 10 minutes. As soon as the hero was distracted, the golem decided to strike. Apparently, after an intensive diet, he became much more agile. Although Khan wanted to play with the sand golem for a little while longer, he should hurry up and not waste time. Khan proved that he had overcome his fear by killing the sand golem. But here was the first failure. Khan was unable to absorb the spirit of the sand golem, which is very strange. The hero is very angry. Why did he even try then? The increase in skill also went down the drain. The hunter has entered the second testing zone. He must prove that he has become wiser. The location is painfully familiar again, as if Khan was here just yesterday. Yes, this is the location of the second test, the orc settlement, as Khan thought. There is a repetition of the previous tests, but why the first ones, and in order? These are orc rangers. During the test on the second floor, Khan destroyed the orc village. That is, if you think logically, then the following events unfold before the hero. The orcs had a fit of rage. This is such an observable phenomenon among orcs that it is no longer surprising. The problem for Khan is that when the orcs go berserk, they are no longer pathetic monsters like the E rank. But why are they so angry? Because ogres are ordinary monsters who should not show pain from the loss of a family member. Khan reminded the orc of the disgusting feeling that while Khan was dealing with this orc's family, he simply stood and watched his family die. The orc tried to avenge his family, but it was too late. Khan proved that he had become wiser. He completed the second test as successfully as the first, and the last third one remained. This time, Khan has no right to hesitate. He needs to absorb all the spirits of the orc rangers as quickly as possible. Great, Khan has increased his mastery by 6% and now owns 19 souls out of 30. The hero has entered the third testing zone, and to complete the 7th floor, he must prove that Khan has overcome his doubts. Khan was literally here not long ago. This is the 6th floor battle platform. Since the previous areas were reconstructions of the 1st and 2nd floors, Khan believed that the next test would be the 3rd floor with a double, but not the 6th. In the inventory, there was a life potion. This is a recovery potion made from special water filled with the wealth of life. When taken, 20% of lost physical and magical strength is restored. Now the hero feels much better. As soon as Khan threw away a small bottle of the potion, he caused a tsunami. Oh shit. Han is once again down to the last minute to complete the floor. He'll need to throw all his strength into it to complete it successfully. The tests that have been played so far have followed the existing rules, meaning that to pass this test, Khan needs to find and occupy the red tile of the stronghold. Until then, the hero must under no circumstances come into contact with the local water. Khan became much faster and more vulnerable. At least the wave couldn't catch up with him. Damn! Khan falls and comes into contact with the water of the trial. His strength, agility, and endurance are reduced by 10. Will this really be the hero's defeat? Even the thought that the tiles would remain in the same order gave Khan a kind of hope. The hope that there is at least some common sense in the testing tower. The hero certainly could not have expected to die in such a place. Instantly accelerating, Khan finally found the red platform of the stronghold. Now it's a small matter. Will this irritating ordeal for Khan really end soon? Now the testing tower decided to go completely mad. Khan was about to step on the threshold of the slab when water began to come from all sides. There was still a little bit left, but the water overturned Khan. The protagonist had already resigned himself to defeat, but he forgot about his inventory. The tower activated the exclusive effect of the suspension, so the protective layer absorbs 10% of all physical damage. The spirit absorbed the damage inflicted by Khan, and the orc's souls disappeared. The hunter clearly felt the shockwave. But just before the blow could knock the hero off his feet, the shield blocked all the damage. Damn, player time is up. Exclusive effect of Assassin's Cloak is disabled. For Khan, this is a real curse. He has never encountered so many problems at once, and if the instant acceleration fails, then Khan is definitely finished. Using one of the spirits, Khan has replenished his strength and is ready to fight further. There is very little left. The main character already imagines in his mind how he will pass the 8th floor. The most important thing is to pass at least this one. Your mother. There is definitely no time to think about the 8th floor. Khan has a new problem that needs to be solved as soon as possible. Through pain and torment, Khan passes through a wall of water, having exhausted the soul of the orc hunter. When Khan landed on the capture point plate with incredible speed, he lost all the orc souls, leaving 12 out of 30 in his possession. The hero managed to cope with the test, proving that he overcame his doubts and successfully completed the 3rd test. As a reward, Khan receives the skill of the Grace of the Wind, A, 15000 points, speed boots, C+. Now the hero can rest with peace of mind. During this test, Khan was close to failure but still managed to win. In the current situation, the hero is a little anxious about going straight to the 8th floor, which is understandable. However, Khan doesn't think that he will continue to have such great luck. The tower displayed the very message that the main character had been waiting for so long, for which he had fought until he lost his pulse. Khan is the very same contender who was called a pioneer on all the previous floors. He can choose the long-awaited Yahello, an advantage that can only be obtained if the title of pioneer, that is Khan, was assigned to the applicant on all previous floors. The tower advised choosing wisely. But when did the Tower of Trials ever give advice like that? It must mean that the Yahello is something important. Khan read the description and realized that the Yahello affects all skills and even the unique characteristic. The hero has decided on the choice of the Yahello, having chosen the ruler. A special effect starts the evolution of a unique characteristic. A summoner skill. Khan will be able to use the absorbed spirits to revive powerful skeletal undead. The next skill, Magic Swordsman. Talent for sword and magic increases, and the ability can be increased by 3 times. Creator, this talent for creating objects increases, and the ability to acquire skills also increases, but by 3 times. The Khan was pleasantly surprised to learn that this was the effect of the ruler's Yahello. He didn't even think about it and immediately chose it. After activation, the creation of a unique skill synthesis ability began. Wow, it turns out that Khan can now combine useless skills to create something new, which means he definitely won't be in the red. Khan began his first synthesis of 2 skills. Contempt for the weak and continuing the battle. What will come of it? By synthesizing the 2 skills, Han gained a new skill, Forced Breakthrough. The hero can break through unknown forms of restraint, such as skills and unique characteristics. Khan couldn't even think that by combining 2 skills, he would get such a cool skill D. When he was hoping for E at most, this is definitely another jackpot. The hero wanted to try his luck again by synthesizing 2 skills. The skill of Strong IE has been created. The hero will be able to provide himself with some visibility even in bad conditions. Khan's vision will become sharper. The protagonist has gone from holding the status of a pioneer to receiving a reward in the form of a Yahello, but then why does he feel a little strange? Khan is unsure whether he achieved all this through his own efforts, or whether he was simply lucky with a unique characteristic. The hunter, tired of lying around doing nothing, thinking about all sorts of nonsense, thinks that it is better to check the reward he received. Khan forgot that he had received the skill of the Grace of the Wind A. When activated, it increases all speeds by 10%, but if he can sum up the skills, he can increase any speed by 70%. In addition, this skill will not consume mana from the hero. It is an absolutely free skill. Basically, it's a skill that has no downsides. All the rewards on the 7th floor are related to speed, which makes the main character incredibly happy. After looking around the store, Han only bought the magic resistance skill because the price was incredibly high. Now the protagonist won't be caught off guard by something like the unique characteristic of heart fusion that caused Han a hard time in the past. Mana used by the hunter randomly forms a chain and enhances physical abilities. As expected, Khan once again made a successful purchase. Well, now Khan has an important decision to make. Challenge the next floor right now or just return to the ground. Meanwhile, on the floor, the teams are already gathering, but one guy can't get his comrades together. All words avoid him. All the hunters consider the guy a black sheep because no one would want to join this E-rank trashes team. The guy understands everything perfectly well, but he can't do anything because there is some truth in it. At an unexpected moment for everyone, our main character, C-rank hunter Han Sung-yun, comes in. He is ready to join the team if the recruitment is not closed yet. Khan decided to join the team of that same poor guy. The guy did not lose his head and happily accepted him. But that same impudent fellow who insulted the E-rank guy didn't like that Han went out of turn to ask questions. Having believed in herself, she dared to threaten Khan, grabbing him by the shoulder. The main character, without thinking twice, calmly told him that if he didn't remove his hand from his shoulder, it would be broken in every way that existed. In order not to show his weakness, the insolent hunter hid behind representatives from the Hunters Association. Han told Hunter Lee Cheol-won that he was unlikely to find a team, so there was no point in dragging it out and it was time to go to the gate. The guy was very surprised that he and Khan would go alone. The protagonist reassures Won because Han can handle most D-rank monsters on his own. Won was very worried and asked Han who dies more often, an E-rank hunter or a C-rank hunter. According to him, it was obvious that it was an E-rank hunter, but that was not true. E-rank hunters are extremely cautious because they know they are weak. While C-rank hunters are overly confident in their abilities, the probability of C-rank hunters failing is extremely high, Won said. Vaughn also added that his thoughts can be compared to driving, because the more self-confident the driver, the higher the likelihood of getting into an accident. Khan understood perfectly well what these words were meant for. Under the command of the team, Khan risks not only himself, but also the team, since they entered the gate without a tank and a healer. Since this E-rank kid had more experience in visiting dungeons, he offered himself as the team leader. Han was a little shocked by what Won said, because Han was planning to be the leader. The protagonist gave the go-ahead for Vaughn to become the leader. The boy does this for everyone's safety. After the conversation, the team went forward, but on the way they met a lizardman. Apparently, this is not the first time Vaughn has seen them, and he knows that they are skilled in using various types of weapons. Vaughn has already decided everything. He will draw all the attention of this creature to himself, and Khan will have to attack on the signal as the lizard man opens his back. The hero is in complete horror. He thought there would be a real battle, and his teammate is measuring his strength with the lizard man. Here, a temporary return to Earth takes only 3 days, and Khan has to lose precious time because of some insignificant lizard man. Khan asked his leader for forgiveness and is obliged to intervene in this because he is offended by the wasted time. One asked not to do this, because if Han interfered in the fight, he would be in danger. The E-rank boy was shocked at how this was possible. Khan apologized for his behavior. He intervened because he was in a hurry. After killing the lizard man, Khan declared to his comrade that he now wanted to become the leader, showing in battle who the real leader was. But at that moment, a large number of lizardmen attacked. Khan does not like opponents because it is a one-sided massacre without resistance. Vaughn believed that he was currently witnessing the battle of a super newcomer who would shake up the hunting industry in the future. The boy was upset that, apart from playing the role of a porter, he was of no use. As the team was discussing the distribution of profits, a lizard man flew towards Khan's back. One could only guess whether the hero would survive, but his instincts save him once again and the hero dodges a blow to the back. Khan, without hesitation, deals with the lizard, finishing him off in just a couple of blows, sentencing his enemy to death. The hero understands perfectly well what his partner Wendy is thinking about now, so he suggested discussing everything outside so as not to lose his vigilance once again. Khan pretended to yawn in front of Wendy so as not to show directly how he absorbed the souls of the enemies he killed. The absorption only added 0.07% to the strength. At this rate with D-class monsters, the increase in mastery of the unique characteristic will be very long. At the beginning of the meeting with the hero, the partner could not even imagine that such a duet would be able to reach the portal leading to the boss's room. Looking at the hero, Wendy realized that a person like the hero was quite capable of completely clearing the dungeon. The hero understood perfectly well that when they entered the room with the boss, they would see the king of the lizards in front of them. Khan decided to act as usual without a clear plan, so he rushed into battle, thinking up a plan as the battle went on. But what the hero certainly didn't expect was that the enemy would be able to outplay him and deal a crushing blow. Wendy can only watch this battle. He arrived in a panic and began to worry about his commander. However, Khan was incredibly lucky. His spirit absorbed the damage inflicted by the enemy. The hero has come up with the perfect moment to test all his new skills. The Lizard King didn't wait for the hero's attack and activated his skill, which caused Khan to be affected by a slow wave, causing his speed to decrease by 25%. The only way out for the hero was to activate the forced breakthrough. The hero's magical power is twice as powerful as the lizard's, so he easily copes with the slowdown. The skill is a result of synthesis, so Han had some doubts about it, but the effectiveness turned out to be high. Wendy doesn't have the same skills as the hero, so without his help, he won't be able to get out of the lizard's trap. The lizard noticed the immobilized Wendy and changed its target, heading in his direction. The Khan ran at the speed of light to save his partner from the cowardly king, but even his sonic speed wasn't enough to catch up with the enemy. So he activated the skill of summoning the dead to protect Wendy. Of course, they won't have enough strength to stop such a giant, but nevertheless, the hero will at least gain precious time with their help. Khan managed to save his partner by catching up with the lizard and activating the skill of the Mercy of the Wind. Safely, the dungeon boss, the Lizard King, died, leaving behind a cowardly leader who was afraid of an equal opponent and decided to kill someone weaker than himself. The hero immediately absorbed the king's soul, taking only the best from him. For example, from now on, Khan, entering into battle, will be able to recognize attacks in the visible range. While the hero was fighting in the dungeon, one of the leaders from above was already bored that nothing special had happened, except for the appearance of 3 portals at the same time. The leader thought that no one would be able to defeat the boss again after opening the room, so he thought that the attack team of the Hunter Association would take care of eliminating the boss again. But if the fighters managed to clear the area without the help of the Hunters Association, then the leader's control team will also be able to get their promised share. Just as the leader was getting upset, realizing that no one would be able to handle such a task, since an A rank would be needed to carry out the cleanup, at that moment Han returned with Wendy. No one could believe that Khan's 2-man team was able to complete the cleanup in such a short time. The leader learned from the colorless portal that the hero was telling the pure truth about the cleansing, which meant that the boss's room had been completely eliminated. After much chatter, the leader finally decided to introduce himself to the hero. His name is John. He leads the portal control group from the Hunters Association that arrived here to monitor the portals that suddenly appeared in the park. Wendy decided that John was here for only one reason: to buy the rights to occupy the portal, to which the leader confirmed his words. But the hero's partner is not the one who has the right to make a decision in this matter. The leader did not quite understand this answer for himself. Wendy explained that Khan had single-handedly captured the entire dungeon, also eliminating the dungeon boss, the Lizard King, and John almost swallowed his tongue at this information. When John found out that the hero was not A rank, but C rank, he turned even whiter. The leader finally came to the conclusion of his speech. His team wants to buy the occupation for 1,200,000,000 won, which is equal to 76 million rubles. After returning from the Tower of Trials, the girl does nothing but work like a horse. Unexpectedly for her, someone called her at such a late hour. When she looked who it was, she was very surprised and began to worry. The girl's entire leadership is furious. She never thought that it would be so difficult to recruit candidates. The girl didn't manage to recruit even 10 people, and all of these candidates were of low complexity, which is not enough to satisfy the top management. Sandy now regrets that she couldn't decide to propose to the hero. However, as soon as the girl thought about him, at that very second a message came from the hero. He would like to meet Sandy, if of course she returned from the tower. Khan still can't believe that he has such a huge bill, and sometimes even began to think about buying a house. Sandy, after receiving a message from the hero, began to run and ran out of breath to the meeting. The hero clearly noticed the girl's behavior, that she was in a great hurry, even though he didn't demand it. Sandy replied that she had been waiting for a long time for a response to her message, and when she never received one, upon hearing these words, the hero began to feel uncharacteristically embarrassed. The girl doesn't hold any particular grudge, but she wouldn't mind trying some cheesecake with a cup of coffee, at the guy's expense, of course. Khan said that he was actually planning to continue his climb up the testing tower, and that he had contacted me, because he had one request. Khan needs to join a guild so he can attack dungeons during the short return from the trial tower. But the hero also has his own conditions. This is the right to refuse the order to appear at the guild. Also, non-interference in the hero's affairs related to the Tower of Trials. Permission to use the guild dungeons at any time. After the conditions were announced, Khan felt that he had gone a bit too far. Sandy replied that such conditions were absolutely impossible to fulfill, because from the guild's point of view, she would get nothing. It was a great chance for the girl. She took the hero by the hand and offered to join her guild. After the meeting, the hero thought about one thing. He wanted to make these impossible conditions possible. From raiding a dungeon to selling the occupation rights, plus joining a guild, Han had an extremely productive day yesterday. In order to join the girl's guild, the hero will have to demonstrate his abilities to make it easier to convince the higher management, because the privilege of free use of the guild's dungeons is not available to everyone. Khan understood the girl's idea perfectly. Her words meant that not everyone can bathe in cream using the dungeons of the White Guild. It must, at a minimum, be either a rising star or a hunter on whom great hopes are placed. Nothing will stop Khan. He asked Sandy to prepare everything necessary for the cleanup. Sandy promised the hero that she would do everything so that the hero would never regret his decision. The hero had already begun to demonstrate his abilities, and as a warm-up, he decided to start jogging. Meanwhile, the girl came to warn the guards about the reservation for the assault on the portal, which would take place in an hour. The security confirmed the request. The worker suggested waiting under the canopy because there was enough time. At this time, the hero ran to his destination. He ran so fast that he demolished the canopy with his shockwave, which made him a little worried. While the girl was glad that the hero had appeared so quickly, the guard could not believe that the shockwave had come from the wind. But deep down, Sandy did not understand who Khan really was. Sandy told the hero that the entrance to the portal was ready. He just had to prepare and enter at any time. The hero, without hesitation, decided to go on a raid right now. Khan and Sandy set off and arrived at the location, which is located on the field, which led the hero into confusion. If the hero finds himself in danger, he will need to immediately let her know about it. Unlike him, the girl is not in any danger. Sandy wears an artifact that was given out by the White Guild, the A-rank Empress necklace, which has a shield function and a weak invisibility effect. After all, if the girl attracts the attention of the monsters, then at some point she will provide assistance. So she decided to try to stay as far away from the battlefield as possible. The hero began to clear. When suddenly the skill that he got from the Lizard King was activated, it showed that there were enemies nearby. Sandy yelled at the hero to avoid the poisonous fishermen, because these creatures violate all the rules of a C-rank dungeon. For Khan, this kind of offspring is a small part of the snack, so he easily copes with all the fish. Sandy couldn't believe her eyes that she saw such a start of a battle in real life. But the only thing she knew for sure was that she made the right choice. For the hero, the appearance of the lightning effect is such a rarity that he completely forgot about its existence. The hero has more or less restored order nearby, so Sandy can move forward calmly. Sandy doesn't understand how Han managed to get to the portal leading to the boss room in less than an hour, and all by himself. The girl also understands that the team is now in a location that violates the rules, because the poisonous fisherman is a monster that cannot be treated lightly. One of the monsters recommended for group attacks, even for those same C-rank hunters, is the poison fisher. That's why the girl can't believe that Khan dealt with this monster so playfully, as if there was a helpless baby standing in front of him. The only thing Sandy realizes is that this is not the limit of the hero's growth. She is afraid to imagine what will happen to him in the future. Having dealt with all the fishermen, Khan increased his strength by 4, agility by 3, endurance by 4, mana by 6, and stamina by 7. With this hero level, the boss will not pose any threat in a fight against him. When the team entered the boss room, Sandy became suspicious that there were still no monsters. At that very second, a fire-breathing lizard fell upon them from above with complete malice towards them. Khan felt a serious threat, so without Sandy's consent, he saved her, although it was her task. But the girl, on the contrary, was happy and remained in debt. The hero asked for forgiveness and left the girl alone for a while to deal with that creature. Sandy stopped the hero, suggesting to use the enhancement skill on him, since the situation was really tense, and now was not the time to test personal abilities. But Khan abandoned this idea because he was confident in his strength against the lizard. As soon as the hero jumped to the enemy, he immediately activated the instant acceleration skill and applied the exclusive effect of the speed boots, which instantly increases speed. The lizard, looking at the hero, became afraid of the man, being himself a terrifying opponent. Khan himself did not notice how in a few fractions of a second he had cut his enemy to pieces. The boss of the dungeon, the blue flame fisherman, was defeated by the hero. Now in 3 hours, the dungeon will be destroyed. Watching the whole battle, The girl became completely confused and did not understand which of them was really the monster. Sandy never expected that Han, being a C-rank hunter, would clear the dungeon so quickly. The girl congratulated the hero on successfully passing the test. Now he will be able to use the dungeons of the White Guard. Their guild is not so stupid as to miss such a talent as Hana. Such words touched the hero very much, for which he is incredibly grateful. But Sandy decided to move away from this topic and touch on a more important one. She understands that, in fact, the hero has a murderous difficulty in the Tower of Trials, so she asked to be more careful because she herself wants to see the hero's full growth. Han has never felt so confused and lost, and Sandy's words are important to him, so he will fight more carefully. There were 5 minutes left before moving to the testing tower. The hero thought so, and realized that all these 3 days he really had been spinning like a squirrel in a wheel. Thanks to this experience, the hero's stats and self-confidence increased. Time on Earth is up, and Khan is moving back to the testing tower for new battles and adventures. Khan immediately goes to the test located on the 8th floor, using the battle crossing point. The hero has the qualifications of a pioneer, so the tower began to select an administrator. As soon as the consultation with the Steel Bloodlord, the manager of the battle intersection point, began, the hero entered the world of Steel Blood. Khan immediately activated the Eye of Truth, the world of Steel Blood, a space created especially for the administrator, a place where uninvited guests cannot look. The administrator has the right to convey his words through the tower's messages, so he conveyed to the hero that he should stop wasting his time and start following the sword. The Khan did not argue with the Lord, so he followed the sword and came to a certain hut. When the hero entered the hut, he saw in front of him the same administrator who was appointed to conduct a consultation with the hero. Yes, on the outside she looks like a foreign beauty, but it's not that simple. In fact, in front of Khan sits a creature that controls the testing tower. The girl was extremely curious to know what a monster like Khan looked like, and she was quite surprised. The Lord only knew about what happened on the 4th floor from the final report data, because it was impossible to observe the tests of the candidates below the 8th floor. Apparently, Khan does not know everything about the testing tower. The administrators are not omnipotent beings like the gods, and they do not control the tower at all. Administrators should be seen as being subordinate to the tower, so the hero should not be nervous in the presence of the Lord. The girl decided to leave all the chatter. This personal consultation is an earned advantage of the hero, so he can ask any questions. Then Khan decided to ask about the 5th floor. He almost died at the hands of a challenger from another dimension. The hero does not understand why he came to him. The Lord explained that this was within the norm. An intruder could not only steal the reward for testing that floor, but also gain more favorable benefits. The challengers from other worlds come from where the tower has existed for decades, and they are well aware that the reward for harming a challenger from another world is incredibly high. And they also know that the tower of this world will one day be united with the towers of another world. Starting from the 20th floor, the focus is on combined challenges rather than individual ones, and then the hero will have to face challengers from another world. All this is very much like trying to eliminate in advance a competitor whom you will have to meet one day. Having collected his thoughts, the hero finally decided to ask at least someone what kind of structure the testing tower was. In fact, the girl herself would like to know the answer to this question. Originally, the so-called administrators were the same challengers as the hero. Challengers who die after the 40th floor gain the right to be reborn as administrators again. At one time, a girl climbed the tower to see the end, but she could not reach the top of the tower. Although no, it would be more correct to say that all the administrators died before reaching the end. Khan was very upset that all the administrators were eliminated candidates. He wanted to at least find out something about the top of the tower. After the hero's words, the girl immediately grabbed him by the throat. The words about the top of the tower are not at all something that can be said so frivolously and carelessly. The Lord herself said that personal consultation is an advantage for Khan, especially since he does not feel any hostility from the girl. And the hero does not intend to allow the girl to harm him so easily. How many years has the girl lived? And for the first time, she saw the one who was able to destroy the administrator's residence. The hero's actions convinced the Lord, and now she is ready to offer a patronage agreement. Khan returned to his room and decided to look at the exclusive store, where he was convinced that he had indeed signed a contract. A girl can't just let go of a candidate who is both talented and brave. Khan signed the contract, giving his full informed consent. As a special benefit provided by the contractor, all of the hero's stuns will increase by 1. Khan also decided to buy the power of reason in an exclusive store, which allows one to reason sensibly in any situation. The hero accepted for himself that it was better to raise his survival level in this way than to not prepare for anything at all. After purchasing, the hero went to the 8th floor test of high difficulty. The condition for successfully passing the test is the elimination of the lich summoning skeletons. Looking down on the million skeletons, the hero thought that this was a test to overwhelm the challenger with numbers, but the hero could not be stopped. Khan literally walked over the heads of the skeletons, hitting the very epicenter. As expected, opponents cannot penetrate even basic defense. The hero hasn't had such an easy battle in a long time. It's just that the skeletons themselves are very weak. For each killed skeleton, the hero gains 0.08 skill, but this is too little. Khan absorbed the souls to summon skeletal soldiers. He had no idea they were usable before. The hero activated the skill Grace of the Wind, increasing his speed by 60%, ran through the wall of skeletons, and headed after the boss. The boss was angry that the insignificant little man dared to cross the threshold of the storage facility. Initially, the battle seemed quite easy, until the appearance of sand golems, which the skeleton lord himself can control. The Khan believes in his own powers so much that he decides to laugh at the ruler by asking him to summon someone stronger than the golems. If the master does not have more powerful exhibits in his arsenal, then the hero will be very upset in this case. And so, after a couple of seconds of attacks, the hero had already managed to cut the head off the shoulders of one of the golems. Khan is very happy. Such undead greatly increases his skill by as much as 1.2% for each golem. It was then that the ruler became confused and wondered where such a monster came from. The Khan was about to deal with the ruler, but he noticed one detail. Looking at the whole situation, the lich was freely summoning various monsters. The hero forced the lord to summon as many monsters as possible, as well as summon all the skeletons that remained alive to invest their powers into the golems. The skeleton lord was extremely tired of summoning monsters, so he asked the hero how much was left. Khan has gotten too into the swing of things and can't stop. This whole circle of earning mastery will end when the hero himself decides. After killing multiple monsters, the hero's unique stat necromancy skill reached 100%. It turns out that necromancy now also has a C rank. The skeleton lord considers the hero a scumbag who would make even the devil tremble, and he promised to curse the hero even after death. The enemy responds so negatively because all monster summons drain his life energy, meaning he will soon simply die. The Khan has no choice but to simply kill the ruler himself. The hero received the achievement of a person who surpassed the devil and also increased his skill by as much as 17.4%. Khan successfully completed the 8th floor of the trials, for which all his stats increased by 2 as a reward. In the waiting room, the hero began to study all the rewards. Now he does not have to pump up the skill mastery from scratch. Han is well aware that the 8th floor test ended rather smoothly, but there is no guarantee that the 9th floor test will be the same. That is why the hero is in no hurry to move on. He decided to carefully prepare for the next test. Ever since the hero maxed out the skill, he has reached the point where he needs a replacement sword skill. The hero searched the entire store, but could not find such a skill, so he decided to create it himself. If Han is going to upgrade the Hunter's Dagger's rank through skill synthesis, he should predict the combination compatibility as well as possible. Khan risked everything and decided to synthesize 2 skills, the Hunter's Dagger and basic fencing, and as a result, the skill Demon Slayer C was created. Demon Slayer is an art designed to kill demons. When fighting non-humans, the hero's attack speed will increase by 2 times. Khan was so happy with his new successful skill that he got excited and decided to synthesize the remaining skills. The hero received the skill Ash Blood B. This is the main racial trait with which a mutant vampire is born. The skill also has a 3-fold acceleration of regeneration, and this in itself is cheating. In addition to this, it also blocks pain. Since the waiting room is equipped with healing, the hero will not be able to properly test this skill. The hero spent 100 points and removed the regeneration effect. Since all the spirits were absorbed, the shield does not activate in any way. Khan cut his entire arm, but fortunately the ability turned out to be amazing. Even being outside the waiting room, the hero is as if under eternal healing. In addition to this level of regeneration, Khan also has a spiritual shield. Khan did not drag his feet for long, so he went to the 9th floor of the test. The condition for successfully passing the test is to eliminate all the monsters in the arena within the allotted time. But before the hero could even enter the room, The system reported a security threat, confirming the floor-by-floor introduction of applicants from the world of Murim. The theft of the test target by a challenger from the world of Murim has been confirmed. The hero understood perfectly well what was going on. This story reminded him of the fifth floor, when he barely survived. The objective of the test has changed. Khan will have to kill the commander of the Murim Union, Lin. Although the enemy introduced himself to the hero, he does not want to reveal his name. The stranger invaded Khan's floor without good intentions, so the hero will not say a single word about himself to him. The old man thinks differently, that there is a certain etiquette between fencers. The hero is once again speechless. It always turns out that among the candidates from other systems, he comes across the most inadequate warriors. Lin thought he could easily defeat Khan, but he didn't expect that in the hero's dimension there was such an experienced warrior. That is, Khan himself. The enemy constantly tries to be polite when he himself has come to another dimension with the intention of theft and bloodshed, to which the old man replied that their views on life are different due to living on different worlds. Lin said goodbye to the hero in advance and pointed his sword towards the sky, causing a strange dark phenomenon to appear around them. Due to Lin's unique characteristic, the sword's light, the hero was blinded for 5 seconds. Khan did not lose his head and used the magic resistance skill. As a result, the duration of vision loss was reduced to 2.5 seconds. By using the skill, the hero received the achievement of avoiding beauty, increasing agility by 2. Khan managed to cope with black magic. His throat was almost cut. The old man is amazed by the hero's skills for the second time, not understanding how he was able to dodge the sword. But the hero did not waste his time chatting with the enemy, so he activated all his speed skills and went on the attack. Lin blocked the hero's attacks and trapped him, calling his technique strange. The hero is a little puzzled, even despite his incredible growth. Their characteristics are on the same level. The old man laughed one last time and threw away all his jokes, promising to start fighting seriously from that second. Han was once again plunged into complete darkness due to the unique characteristics of the Lin sword. When the hero reduced the blindness to 2.5 seconds, he was very surprised by what he saw. The enemy's attack speed became several times faster. The hero didn't have time to dodge one of the attacks, so he activated the exclusive effect of the forged iron pendant. The protective layer will absorb 10% of all physical damage. The sword strike landed right on his hand again, but Khan successfully regenerated. Lin decided to return to his previous topic. He had already thought that the hero was a good martial arts master, but all the techniques were simply borrowed from other players. This time Han didn't remain silent. He pointed out that the unique characteristic that Lin used was also an ability obtained from the tower. As the old man continued to spout his philosophy, the hero activated his fast-running skill and launched the final attack. Lin had performed the floor infiltration dozens of times so far, and he used his sword to cut down opponents from different worlds. In particular, people on Earth have always been weak warriors in terms of abilities by all parameters. The challengers from the Earth had never touched even a glimmer of Lin's head. Lin expected victory from himself this time too, but he could not have foreseen such power from his opponent. The battle has almost reached its logical conclusion. Many administrators have become interested in the young challenger Khan. Lin became angry at this news and decided to try his luck again. Not everything turned out to be so simple for the enemy. Most of his skills were deactivated, since they are prohibited on this floor. When Lin used the sword light skill again, Han stopped panicking. He even got used to such template attacks. The enemy shouldn't have thrown around loud words. After threats against someone, you are always the one who loses. As happened with the old man, Khan divided his enemy into 2 parts in half. The system congratulated the hero on successfully overcoming the 9th floor of the test tower. Han absorbed the spirit of the challenger Lin, increasing his skill by 27%. As a reward for breaking through, the 6th Sense Skill C+ was created, as well as various points for shopping in the store. As soon as the hero approached the portal to his waiting room, all the administrators began to praise the hero and applaud. Many administrators were pleased with the hero's fight. He feels a slight satisfaction from the fact that he received at least some recognition. The hero returned to the waiting room and decided to check if the administrators could see him. Khan learned that he could infuse mana into a weapon and use the Lin sword. The hero has enough money to buy whatever he wants, so he reconstructed the bone. While the hero was improving the sword, he realized that the old man from the 9th floor was also a monster. In order not to die at the hands of such bastards, the hero decides to first buy more powers. From now on, the hero became the true owner of the power of the swordmaster Lin. The 3 absolute skill also uses mana, but the feeling for the hero is completely different. If we call the mana that flows instantly in the sword like a wave a triple absolute skill, then Master Lin's strength should be compared to a stream of water flowing through the sword. There's just a catch. Every 1 minute, the mana consumption increases by 2%, and after about 50 minutes, the mana consumption will increase by 100%. Khan decided to distribute his mana well when using this power, so he deactivated the sword's power. The hero also received a 6th sense as a reward, a skill that is useful because the hero's sense of smell will improve significantly. The last thing the hero did was look at the community. As expected, there were a lot of comments about the common areas that were added on the 10th floor. At that moment, Khan noticed in the chat that one of the users had been offered to exchange power, something the hero did not know about. To understand everything for himself, the hero went to the general area for reconnaissance. Khan even used a question ticket to learn as much as he could about the place. One group of people recognized one guy as the same hunter from Korea, if rank A class. The boss considers the guy a strong hunter, and this constantly worries him that the behavior of the strongest of Korea always leaves much to be desired. Here he realized that outside the common area it was possible to kill, so his target was already marked. The guy's mana consumption rate increased sharply, and due to the effect of the unique characteristic, the territory limitation, all stats decreased by 20%. His body became as if petrified. He couldn't even move his little finger. The condition happened at the hands of the gang. They laughed at him, that he was one of the strongest Korean hunters, but he had no idea what was happening at the moment. The guy is completely confused. They are not on trial, but the gang is still robbing here. A girl decided to stand up for the guy and threatened to turn on the community function to inform absolutely everyone about the actions. The head just laughed at this. If the girl drops her items, that is, undresses, then perhaps he will let the guy go. The bully was just about to start pestering the girl when Khan, who had just been noticed, walked past him. Shouting at Khan's back, he shouted until he reached the end. He liked the fact that he would have 2 Koreans and 1 girl in his arms. The hero wanted to quietly pass by, but everything went wrong again. Before the battle began, Khan warned the gang that it was their decision. They started first. The gang never expected such lightning speed from a passing Korean. The girl and the strongest A-class hunter watched the strangers battle in amazement. Only the leader himself remained without his friends, but soon he too will join in feeding the worms. Khan did not feel sorry for anyone. They made this choice themselves. In the next world, they will act a little smarter. The girl asked Khan for forgiveness. She should have helped, but the battle ended faster than she could have thought. It's a great honor for the guy to meet the hero ranker. He is grateful for saving his life. The hero thought that the gang was going to kill him, so he decided to get rid of the problems that had fallen on him. The Khan wanted to leave, but the guy left the hero, asking him to leave the bodies of the candidates. The guy said that if the hero leaves these bodies, and also for saving lives, he will pay with the so-called power. The greatest hunter instantly activated the gluttony skill and absorbed all the dead bodies and the power of the steel wings. As the guy promised, in return, the hero accepted the power of the gourmet. The hero did not expect that he would receive another element so easily. This is the power that will allow the hero to create wings on his back with the ability to levitate. Many administrators were dissatisfied with such generosity towards the hero. Seeing how far the competition between administrators goes, it is safe to say that they clearly want something from the applicants. The guy said that the common area is divided into an arena, an auction area, and a gaming area. And besides these well-known facts, he can share more interesting information. The other dimensional worlds that have been revealed are still in the process of being floored in. These are Ares, Murim, and Kalyan, so it appears that everyone may encounter these 3 dimensions when it comes to floored in. The aspirants from the world of Ares place great importance on chivalry. Murim's challengers are similar to them, but a little more aggressive. The hero realized that the Black Knight was from the world of Ares, and Lin was from the world of Murim. As for the world of Kalyan, the guy heard that it was a world of races such as elves, fairies, and beastmen. The guy found out everything in advance, taking advantage of his right to ask questions. Although the A-class hunter is not a ranker, he asked the hero to take his calling card. The guy is the head of the team that monitors candidates from the Hunters Association. If the hero has any questions, Khan can contact him at any time. When the heroes entered the zone, Khan was very surprised by what he saw, and the guy said that he needed to slowly move towards the auction zone. The guy asked the hero where he was going, but Khan answered without hesitation that he intended to visit the arena. In the arena, Khan saw a tense atmosphere, as many spectators were freaking out over the losses. The hero didn't really understand how to get into the arena, so he decided to just sit in a chair, counting on luck. The board displayed a message asking whether to place a bet or go to a duel. If the duel status is confirmed, the participants of the duel will automatically be moved to the Colosseum. The reward for winning a duel is the arena core itself, as well as various items, skills, and power. Most viewers quickly noticed the Hellfire Witch Catherine. This is the most famous huntress from America. The girl also decided to go to a duel, but she waits too long for her opponent, because many are afraid to fight her, because she has many victories to her credit. Catherine was disappointed, calling everyone present cowards. But the girl did not have time to leave the arena. After the notification of confirmation of the request, her opponent became Khan. Catherine likes the hero's fighting spirit, but she advised him to observe his opponent first. Having activated her power of fire birth, the girl was already confident of her victory. But Han is not going to give up so easily. He has too many trump cards in his pocket, for example, the Lin sword. Once Catherine started to praise herself and talk about giving her experience, the hero decided to give it to the girl. The Steel Blood Administrator didn't expect the hero to master the released energy so quickly. The girl made a great move when she sponsored such a wonderful power. Now in the future, she will need to gain Khan's favor faster than other administrators. Khan regrets losing the exclusive effect of the cloak due to the inability to use the Wind's Mercy skill. The Fire Lady is very interested in how long the hero can fight. Almost all the administrators watch the battle, smirking at Catherine's attacks. With every activated minute, the hero spends more and more precious mana. Due to this mana consumption, if the battle drags on, the hero will be at a disadvantage. Khan absorbed the spirit, thereby increasing his stats, strength by 2, agility by 1, mana by 3. By absorbing the soul, Han gains the lightning sword skill, which can be used to launch energy over long distances. Catherine is infuriated that the hero allows himself to be distracted by extraneous matters during the battle. Finally, Han decided to activate the Steel Ash skill, hoping for success on the first try. The hero managed to break through the Fire Girl's shield with his first blow, which she certainly didn't expect. Khan never gives up before time. Due to his speed, soon he found himself behind the girl. As a result, she simply gave up. The hero decided to take part in a duel to hone his sword skills, but the opponent turned out to be quite strong. As a reward, Han received the Storm skill C+, which carries the purpose of delivering piercing blows. The hero has only one victory to his credit, so he decided to grow, and his next opponent was the 11th place opponent on the Japanese server. The enemy is aware of Khan's 3rd place on the Korean server, so he was really looking forward to this meeting. But in front of him, he saw, in his opinion, a beggar. At first, the guy didn't understand why the hero was laughing, but he explained that they thought the same thing about each other. The guy got angry and immediately ran into the attack, but this attack greatly disappointed Hana. That 11th place was so weak. The hero has become so strong that such a level seems like child's play to him. Khan killed his opponent without even trying, landing one blow and defeating him. Meanwhile, news reached the lands of Morami that teacher Lin had died as a result of a floor implant. One of the students ordered to obtain all the information at any cost, no matter what. Finally, Han returned to the waiting room on the 10th floor. No trace of fatigue left. The hero in such an unexpected place received a lot of powers, for example. The ability to fly, however, the hero cannot buy it yet due to lack of funds. So Han decides to start synthesizing different skills again. The hero synthesized defense, counterattack shield B, movement speed, secret shadow step C+, attack speed, furious swordplay C+. After inspecting all his new toys, the hero went to the 10th floor. The theme of the test is cooperation. The condition for successfully passing the test is to prevent the resurrection of the ruler who devours darkness within 3 hours. Team members are distributed according to the final ratings of the participants. First place, Keeney. In second place was Charlie, a young and talented guy. In third place, of course, was the hunter Khan. Cedric took the final 6th place. Khan recognized the participants as first and second place. He realized that they had already met somewhere, since they were communicating so nicely with each other. Cedric decided to scream that he supposedly recognized Khan, that he once met him on the 4th floor. For Cedric, deception was a piece of cake all his life. He created conflict by turning others against each other and used this time to gain a reward. The administrator, a lying clown, laughs at the contractor's deception, so much so that even the corners of his mouth are torn from laughter. Cedric noticed the worry on Khan's face, so he decided to add fuel to the fire by saying that the hero even brutally killed members of his team. Khan gradually began to go crazy, not understanding what kind of nonsense the guy was talking about. Keen grabbed his gun and said that instead of a foursome where everyone kept to themselves, he preferred a threesome with good teamwork. The trial tower is not a place to be frivolous, so he decided to find out who was right and who was wrong. He also stated that if something goes wrong and he ends up having to deal with all three participants, that would be the worst-case scenario. Charlie stopped the argument and decided to lay everything out on the shelves. If Cedric met with Khan on the 4th floor, then he should know his name. The only thing is that the nickname display system appeared on the 5th floor. If Cedric names the hero's true name, then everything will become clear. The guy gave a completely unknown name during his return to Earth. The hero mistakenly took his hunter's ID with him, and in the end, it came in very handy. Keeney finally made his decision after seeing Cedric's lies. Most of the administrators began to mock and laugh at the guy because of his actions. However, Khan stopped the leader. He decided to deal with this cute guy himself because he was too angry. Cedric was even pleased by the news that he had a chance to survive. The guy doesn't want to answer for his words. He doesn't know what responsibility is. He only cares about surviving. The guy really believed in himself, that he could defeat the hero with his STEM skill. But he was very surprised when it didn't work. Keeney suggested that it would be better to move away from such power, but Charlie even liked it, because you can fully feel the struggle between them. Khan attacked his opponent sharply, but suddenly Cedric launched his spheres again and the hero seemed to go blind. The hero absorbed all the power of the spheres with his activated contractor shield skill. Cedric began to blaze with rage, not understanding how Khan had managed to block the attack so easily. Charlie asked Keeney if he had ever heard of the challenger Khan, but he said no, he had never met him. If Keeney hadn't heard of the hero, they knew there was a good chance Khan had once been an ordinary civilian, and achieving such a result was no easy task. The leader of the rating noted that Khan is not even fighting at full strength, which means his strength is equal to Keeney's. It may just be their guess, but if Team Luck has been eluding the hero in all combined challenges so far, then there is a high probability that the hero was simply underestimated. While Keeney was thinking about everything, he never once looked away from the battle. He was very surprised that Khan did not kill Cedric, but simply suppressed him with his superiority. Cedric begged the hero for mercy, in his opinion. Without him, no one would be able to survive this test. Khan thought for a moment that the test tower had not just gathered the 4 best players for nothing, which meant that the task would not be easy. The hero looked back at his team, but they warned him that they had no right to interfere. The choice would remain with the hero. It was no surprise that Cedric would deceive the hero again. Because of his meanness, he paid with his life. But it turned out that Khan only killed Cedric's magical double due to the activated deception skill. The hero had no doubts left to think about whether to leave Cedric alive or not. Now Khan knows that it is dangerous to mess with such a scumbag like Cedric. It is better to fight 3 of them than to have such a player on the team. By reflecting all the shield's energy back at the opponent, the hero eliminates the danger for his team. Khan got an old vampire count's tailcoat A and a bloody heavenly demonic blade B+, but the hero will get acquainted with these things later. The hero's team praises him, hoping that all problems are now settled. Now we shouldn't forget about the 10th floor test itself, which will start in 10 minutes, so the team went ahead. On the way, the players came across a statue of a warrior on a horse, and it was so huge that Charlie was a little afraid that it could come to life. Perhaps Charlie was right to be afraid. This is a test tower, and anything can happen here, especially since the players have already come to the right place. There are 3 more statues in the area that give the hero a bad feeling, and what was said in the test conditions was revealed to the players. The Lord who devours darkness. The grace period has expired. The 10th floor test begins. When the allotted time starts counting down, a squad of dark guards will appear. All of Charlie's fears have come true, but Keeney isn't worried at all. His bones are numb, which means it's time to stretch. Keeney reported to Khan that there was a head ahead, which a squad of dark guards were carrying on their backs. The team had to stop them from delivering it to the Lord. All the most interesting things are just beginning. All that remains is to wish you luck in dealing with all the darkness. Khan thought that it would be worth dealing with in one attack with his sword. It didn't go smoothly at all. The statue has a shield, which has the same power as a sword by its nature. The statue is not as simple as it seemed at first. The hero began to worry about the others. Parallel to the hero, Keeney also greatly underestimated the statue's military qualities, for which he received a punch in the chest and flew into the wall. Keeney realizes that each of these bastards is on par with the boss. While everyone is worried and upset about losing, Charlie is discussing how the hat doesn't suit him, so he hates using it. The statue will have to pay with its life for forcing the enemy to wear Charlie's hat. But the guy was a bit hasty when dealing with mages. Close combat is the standard. Only if the opponent is a normal wizard. Khan is greatly surprised after having only encountered weak opponents. The sight of these people stirs his blood. The hero just has to not fail in such an amazing team. The hero activated the skill of Secret Shadow Walk, finding himself in the back of the statue. Khan is the first one to deal with at least one opponent, but no one should relax. The second enemy eliminated is another statue, killed by Keeney's depth charge skill. Charlie also deals with his opponent, delivering a crushing blow to the head. Only now all the statues were left without heads and fled. Now the resurrection of the Lord became impossible. The team was about to finish their test when suddenly the players heard a strange sound. The statue that was at the entrance came to life and went to its lord. No one could have predicted the outcome of the incident. Running after him was pointless. He was quite close to the Lord. Due to his stubborn nature, Khan could not accept defeat. So with the last of his strength, he managed to destroy the head in the air. The rider was smart enough to pick up the crown, put it on himself, and give the head to the Lord. But the team doesn't have time to do anything. Their special mission is to eliminate the ruler who devours darkness. Any damage is nullified by the power of immunity. Challengers whose stats are higher than the Overlord will be able to deal damage. Khan had never heard of monsters being able to use any kind of power. If the application itself is impossible, then the team will be able to do absolutely nothing. Khan had so many problems at once because the team couldn't complete the mission as expected. The team finally decided to come up with a plan, but first they had to deal with the Overlord's guards. However, the hero asked the guys to distract the boss for a while he did something. Keeney didn't quite understand the task. They can't do any damage to the Lord, so it's more effective to clear out the guards first. But no. Khan sticks to his plan. He has an idea thanks to which the team will be able to defeat the ruler. Keeney trusted the hero. While Khan would carry out his plan, he and Charlie would distract the boss of darkness. To begin with, Khan warned the statues that it was worth playing around with a little. Keeney tried to damage the Overlord, but nothing happened. The tower said that everyone should show respect to the Overlord. Any action that does not satisfy the requirement will be blocked. Charlie helped his friend. He activated the magic resistance skill and the body block was partially removed. When Charlie activated his skill, the Lord did not stand idle. Directing all his power towards him, Keeney jumped out, taking the full impact on himself. Khan deviated from his plan for a moment and saved the boys from inevitable death. The hero dealt with all the statues and began to absorb souls in front of the Lord himself. All statistics increased sharply by 10%. The shield counterattack skill instantly released all accumulated damage towards the enemy. In addition, using his sword, the hero successfully pierces the enemy. The numbness that had happened to Keeney spread to the hero as well, and the blow was blocked. Khan activated the magic resistance skill and all blockages on his body completely disappeared. The situation is not just tense, it is extremely dangerous, but the hero still manages to laugh somehow. The hero thought about this. His laughter may be due to the anticipation of the approaching victory. While the hero is trying to do something to the ruler, the guys are discussing Khan, that they have never seen such a ferocious monster. For Keeney, it is a rather strange feeling. He could never have thought that he would look at someone's back. But the team is happy. The hero should be congratulated, because from now on, Khan takes first place in the ranking. Han struggles to hold back his shield, and finally the charge is complete, and the skill reaches its maximum damage absorption limit. The hero reduced the sword's area of effect and increased the energy density. The final blow was a crushing blow that tore the ruler's head from his shoulders. The administrator watches Khan with admiration all the time. She still doesn't believe that he is her contractor. Regular tower climbers prepare themselves meticulously to take no risks and climb the tower one floor at a time after spending countless hours training tirelessly. But Han is an exception. He is a valuable talent that is not easy to see in other dimensions. The administrator can even say that the hero is like the embodiment of the desire to grow. The problem is that over time, other administrators will also start to take more and more interest in Khan. So the girl decided to establish a closer relationship with the hero before other administrators did so. The trial tower singled out Khan for his great contribution to the completion of a special mission. Charlie still can't comprehend how the hero managed to pull this off. Khan had a skill that was perfect for this situation, and then the hero just got lucky. Keeney told the hero that the hero had surprised him greatly, so he suggested that they talk in more detail in a private chat, adding each other as friends. Upon arriving at the waiting room, Han noticed a dimensional travel category had become available in the store. Also, the administrator's area of observation and land measurement has expanded, which means that communication with the administrator can now be carried out even in the waiting room. An additional contact with the administrator and the transition to his personal property has become available, however. The additional contact can only be concluded once. From the 10th floor, Khan received a B+ Mastery Enhancement Potion, which he immediately drank. The hero's next step was to absorb the spirit of the darkness devouring lord to permanently increase his stats. Now Khan can control mana like someone with innate talent, but just standing there and watching it is pointless. Suddenly the hero noticed how almost all the administrators suddenly began to invite him to their domains. Khan traveled to the world of Steel Blood to understand everything. The girl apparently came out of the shower. She was so happy with the choice of the hero that she couldn't stop laughing. It turned out that the girl was simply arguing, which is why so many applications came in at once. But she got a lot of goodies. The hero asked about the management of mana, which he received completely by accident, whether the girl knew anything or not. The administrator explained that the hero had obtained a very powerful skill. She recommended that the hero use the newly acquired mana management skill to maximize the magical power in his body. The magic control skill was activated and greatly affected the magic circuit in the body, and the magic circuit skill itself was forcibly increased by the mana control skill. Khan immediately wanted to test his strength, but the hero hit the ground so hard that his administrator's robe flew off. The girl said that the expansion is not limited to the intervention area. The real goal is to make sure that the administrator can seriously return the applicants. The girl showed by example what this means. She passed on her power, which was engraved on the soul. Khan doesn't understand why he became her contender, when there are players around him 1,000 times better than him. The girl sees a huge opportunity in Khan, so she clings to him. Administrators are rewarded for developing candidates, but this is by no means the end goal. Everyone, without exception, invests in one or another candidate in order to fulfill a long-standing desire. Due to the large flow of notifications about the hero's invitation to her, the administrators decided to finish her story. Khan safely moved to the administrator in the bamboo grove, where the clearing looks ideal for training. The hero has activated and tested all of his new skills, but the sword cannot be activated using mana management. Han thought that the White Crane Sword Administrator would be an old man like Lin, but he saw a stunning girl in front of him. The girl had always watched the hero from this place. From the moment the hero entered into a life-or-death battle with Lin on the 9th floor until now, the administrator had no need to escalate the situation. Lin was a good candidate for her to get points. During her life, the girl managed to sign contracts with many applicants, but until now, she has never invited anyone to her domain. All this was until the girl saw the hero thanks to Lin. The girl didn't spend much time explaining, but said everything straight out. She wants Khan to sign an additional contract with her. If Khan signs a contract with the White Crane, then she will be able to make the hero an apostle of the administrator, that is her. In the tower, the term apostle means an applicant who enters into a special contractual relationship with the administrator. Only aspirants who become apostles can acquire all the powers of an administrator. In the Tower of Trials, it is said that the additional contract is a contract that can be broken at any time. The hero does not understand why it is offered to him. The girl chose Khan because she wants to fulfill her long-standing desire. She needs the best sword in the world, which will never break or become dull. The crane saw that the hero had the potential to be sharper than any sword. The hero remembered that the administrator of Steel Blood also spoke about an old desire, but what it actually means, the hero does not understand. The girl said that the administrator's long-standing desire is memories that come from regrets of the past. Similar to the tower tests, the long-standing wish is also a kind of test that the administrator can give to the applicants with whom the contract has been signed. If you suddenly manage to fulfill a long-standing wish, then you can change the events of the past. Then Khan decided to ask one single question. How high would he have to climb in the test tower to make his wish come true? The girl thought so and said that this must be the last floor of the tower. Khan finally made up his mind and signed a contract, which made the girl infinitely happy. Suddenly, the girl asked if the administrator of the Steel Blood had spoken of a creature looking for a hero, but this was the first time Han had heard about it. Both girls believe in the hero and his powers, but she decided to tell anyway, since all the tickets would be used up just for this information. The hero doesn't use them anyway, so he won't lose anything. In the Murem dimension, there is a huge force called the Murim Union. The hero killed Lin on the 9th floor, a player who held an important position as a commander in this alliance. Because of his high position, there are people from the Murim dimension who are looking for the hero. To be more precise, Hana is looking for the heavenly sword of the dragon Hamel. This is a creature from the Murim dimension that is obsessed with martial arts. He is looking for a hero, using the word revenge as a pretext, but in reality he is simply driven by curiosity. The administrator does not know when this will happen, but if the hero meets him face to face, he must be ready to risk his life. Returning to the waiting room, the hero thought for a long time about this psychopathic killer from another dimension. Han has no choice but to level up like crazy before he meets Hamel. The hero returned to Earth. When he picked up the phone, he was scared by the missed calls from Sandy. She wrote to urgently come to the Hunters Association when the hero gets in touch. It turned out that the girl was very worried about the hero, that he would go to Japan alone, where the incident occurred. But the guy didn't hesitate and simply turned on the video from the cameras in Japan. Sensing the strong gate generation wave, the Japan Hunters Association formed a response team and dispatched 7 A-rank hunters to the scene. The man who appeared from the portal shockingly killed 6 A-rank hunters in just a few seconds. It is assumed that this was the first time that a challenger from another world had invaded the earthly dimension, and then it dawned on the hero who they were talking about. A second video from the body camera of the last survivor has also been preserved. The psychopath introduced himself and announced that he had come to this dimension to avenge Lin's death. The girl was afraid of the hero's appearance, that he did not want to go to battle, so she suggested having lunch after a long time. Khan apologized and said he would respond to Japan's call and go to that very area in Tokyo. Sandy yelled at the hero. She doesn't understand why Han always acts so recklessly. He should at least be able to think a little about other people's feelings. Khan apologized again and said that this was a problem that he absolutely had to resolve. When Hamel was a 13-year-old child, his achievements and potential were noticed by Lin. The teacher told Hamel that martial arts are not meant to harm people. Martial arts are the path to excellence. At the age of 17, as expected, something terrible happened. Hamel got a taste for it, and for him, there was nothing more fun than killing people. The psychopath is no longer satisfied with killing idiots, and in Murim, he won't be able to kill whenever he wants. So he decided that Khan could relieve the boredom of the killer. Khan arrived to the Hunters, where he saw Charlie, who had no doubt about the meeting after the 10th floor, and Kinney thought that the hero would come much earlier than them. While Khan was thinking of other good candidates, suddenly Katrin, the fire maiden, arrived. The girl wanted to meet in a more normal setting, but Khan indignantly said that they had already met a long time ago in a far from normal setting. Katrin agreed, but said that the hero could have been more gentle. Kinney doesn't understand what's going on. He's so lost in thought that he thinks he's seeing a lover's quarrel in front of him. Charlie was on fire from Kinney's words, but Khan sharply replied that no, there was no love under any circumstances. Katrin grumbled again. No way to answer without words, under no circumstances. The entire proceedings were interrupted by the president of the Japanese Hunters Association, Aaron. Khan was very surprised by her appearance when she met the hero at the airport. The hero thought that she was a full-time employee of the association. Aaron is truly grateful that only 4 powerful hunters came to help. Catherine was very surprised by the hero's cuteness, when outwardly he looks far from feelingless. But all impressions of a hero in Catherine were dispelled when Khan asked to double the promised reward. Khan is not here to be a hero or a humanitarian. He is only interested in the reward and growth he will receive by killing Hamel. The team of players has a pretty good chance of winning, because they have Catherine. The girl has the power of suppression by fire. If she can touch an opponent stronger than herself with her flames, then all the opponent's stats will drop by 10, and some of the skills will be randomly sealed. The latest news is that the Chinese hunter met with Hamel, after which they just stood there. Hamel doesn't understand why the player he's really waiting for doesn't show up, but various bugs appear. The hunter did not hesitate for long and with a dash struck his opponent. Hamel was pleased with his opponent's fist technique. It was already more interesting than the technique of his previous opponents. The team certainly didn't expect the Chinese to go to extremes to attack alone. Khan came up with a great plan that is worth implementing with Katrin. During the jump to the ground, the girl will need to activate her power of immunity to all damage. Khan grabbed the girl and asked for forgiveness, that it was time for them to go down. But Katrin certainly didn't expect this, and couldn't even utter a word. Charlie still looks at the hero in amazement that he is ready to go out of his way to do everything himself, but Keeney said that they can't just watch and went after them. Hamel suspects nothing and laughs at the Chinese man's fist-fighting technique. At that moment, Khan landed and slammed Hamel into the asphalt, after which he exhaled and said that falling from the sky was something that could be repeated twice. Hamel asked the hero who he was. Khan laughed and said that the enemy was so desperately looking for him, and when he met him face to face, he did not know who was in front of him. From Han's blow, the opponent's hands swelled, but he did not feel pain. Hamel could not wait to find out who Han really was, and when he saw the hero on the willow, he called him a bastard who used the fake art of released key sword energy. The Khan sped up and decided to launch a preemptive strike while the enemy had no weapon in his hands. But Hamel managed to take the sword. The hero thought that he had inflicted enough damage from the air, but everything did not go according to plan. Moreover, the shield was broken after just one hit. In this situation, the shield's reflective ability would be extremely difficult to use. The psychopath thought that the hero was really that ridiculously weak, but it was all a setup for Catherine to strike. Even after the girl's mighty power, Hamel was able to repel her attack. It has long been said that even with the instinct of a hunter who has been through many life-or-death battles, this attack is impossible to block. But Hamel somehow managed to do it. Through an invisible connection, the administrator contacted the hero and gave him a gift, mana. Khan began to feel as if there was a girl inside him, the sword of the white crane. Now the hero will be able to apply this ability to the sword, however. After leaving the girl's abode, the hero will need to conduct training, waiting for some time. The hero was convinced of this himself. He had never felt such an ideal release of chi energy. Catherine was amazed by Khan's strength. He instantly delivered a slashing blow and neutralized that incredible powerful attack. She realized that they both became monsters. The psychopath's eyes lit up from such resistance. He waited a long time for a push from the hero, the enemy. Since childhood believes that the more complex the sandcastle is made, the more fun it is to destroy it. Although all the candidates from other worlds were irritable, this bastard is a real psychopath, Khan believes. The hero asked his team to wait for the hero in a safer place. If the hero had to protect them again, he would lose all concentration. Keeney did not object and agreed that in the last test, as in this one, he could not help the hero in any way. But when Keeney sees the opportunity and is confident of success, he will give the go-ahead to carry out Operation Fireworks. The area around the players' fight started to cause chaos. Then Charlie realized why the hero asked them to leave. Catherine believes in Khan and sees that their fight is on equal terms. Keeney thinks differently. He sees something different. He has the feeling that the hero is one step behind the enemy. At this rate, the hero would miss the attack sooner or later. Khan thought that he would be able to resist Hamel if his skills in controlling chi energy improved. The hero assumed that his administrator's sword was A rank, but all of his sword skills were C rank. In turn, a psychopath, even without taking into account skills, is monstrously strong. Han used too much stamina to recover. That's why he was exhausted. If he spends even more stamina, it will affect the fight. In this situation, Catherine came to the rescue. She threw the hero a potion to restore stamina. Before Khan could even hold the potion, the psychopath knocked it out of his hands and drank it himself. Charlie is completely furious. He said that poison should have been added. Hamel only pleases. He enjoys seeing the despair on the hero's face. Even though the psychopath has the upper hand over the hero, he still doesn't like to see a glimmer of hope in his eyes. Khan is on the verge of defeat. The enemy does not understand why the hero continues to nag him with his gaze. In anger and rage, Hamel dealt a terrifying blow to the hero's eyes, blinding him. The hero realized that his stamina, which was the fuel for recovery, had also reached its limit, and if he managed to gather all his strength, he would only be able to attack once. But Khan can't see anything at all, so even attacking just once won't work. The hero's team saw everything perfectly and ran to help. Khan cannot allow this because if they get close, they will die a miserable death. With the last of his strength, Khan asks his friends not to come closer. Hamel now understood why the hero fights so desperately to the end and can't give up. It's all because of his friends. Before Catherine could reach the hero, the psychopath suddenly appeared behind her and delivered a slashing blow. Keeney tried to resist the enemy and protect the girl, but he too turned out to be weak. Hamel is pleased by the hero's tearful face that he can do nothing. Charlie came to the rescue. He activated the ice shackles, freezing the enemy's hand, after which he took Catherine and ran to a protected place. Catherine needs a healer's help, so Charlie threw her as far away as he could, which is the most the guy can do. The guy didn't have time to activate the concealment. The psychopath caught up with him and grabbed him. Khan understands that what happened 7 years ago, when he could not protect anyone, and this only makes it more painful. Recognizing their battle as a disaster, tens of thousands of rats rushed to the surface to survive, and so the hero reproduced the only attack he had left, restoring his stamina by using all his souls. The psychopath tore off Keeney's arm. He sees no measure. He likes to watch the hero's reaction, because it only amuses Hamel. While the enemy was rejoicing, the Chinese player made a dash and attacked. All of Hamel's stats dropped because Catherine gave her skill to the Chinese. The weakened enemy had no choice but to call for a battle of the strongest. The duel zone is formed within a radius of 30 meters through a unique characteristic. With the exception of Khan and Hamel, everyone else is prohibited from entering the duel zone. Since the psychopath had sealed fencing, he decided to use fist techniques. The enemy was so confident in himself that he thought that Khan would not be able to do anything in such a case. But Khan seemed to be filled with energy. His spiritual eye was activated, a skill that allows him to see everything that is in his field of vision. But now the hero sees not only the wall, which stretches out within a radius of 30 meters. The hero feels every stone in this area. Having lost his sight, Khan saw something more. Until now, the hero had never used the spiritual eye correctly. The hero felt like his third eye had opened. Khan realized the true essence of the spiritual eye, and absolutely all of the hero's skills had increased to rank B. Now the hero will be able to fight on equal terms with the weakened psychopath. Hamel found himself at such a loss for the first time. He did not understand why the hero was moving better and better with every step. Han activated the secret walk skill, advancing into the shadowed space with a speed increase of 30%. In addition, the hero uses the mercy of the wind, doubling his speed to 100%. Never before had the hero been so strong, and now the opponents met face to face. Even with everything the hero has in his arsenal, he can only barely get close to the point of fighting on equal terms. Khan's stamina will soon be depleted, and Hamel's reduced abilities will return to normal after 10 minutes. The only thing that can turn the tide of a melee is a sudden change. Hamel laughs at this action because he thought he could drive the hero into a corner. The enemy's fist technique failed, and he missed. Dodging the blow, Han activated the steel sword skill. The sword passed through the enemy's entire body. He certainly didn't expect that. Han hit the key energy core. Now the enemy needs to act faster if he wants to fully recover later. The flame suppression power has ended, so the duel zone within a radius of 30 meters has been unlocked and is now available for all players to intervene. Hamel's confidence took a hit, and he changed his mind and wanted to finish this battle next time. The team got a great look at Hamel taking out the portal stone to go to his world of Marami. At that moment, everyone instinctively felt that if they couldn't kill Hamel right here and now, then one day he would become a real disaster for the earthly dimension. The team united and ran after the enemy, not allowing him to leave so calmly. Hamel was angry that he was considered a coward and a fugitive, so he used the flaming sword with the last of his strength. Khan saved all his friends in time. His contractor shield skill is disabled, making it impossible to reflect the accumulated damage. The hero took the full brunt of the blow and lost his arm. But this is no time for pity. For now everyone needs to keep Hamel from leaving. Hamel started bragging about how he could have killed the hero from the start with one blow, so he asked for sure if the hero really wanted the psychopath to go all the way to the end. Khan is terribly angry at his opponent's words, but he can't say anything in response. Hamel returned to his dimension and promised himself that he would bring the hero to despair. Sometime later, Han woke up in a hospital near Tokyo, but he was not allowed to make any sudden movements yet. The president said the hero had suffered greatly, but had nothing more to say in response to such a huge sacrifice. The hero silently activated the Ashen Blood skill, after which he said that he was completely fine. Khan immediately ran to look for all the other guys. First of all, he went to Katrin and saw something he definitely didn't expect. In the corridor, Charlie, on crutches, greeted the hero with joy, but did not understand what had happened to Khan's face. The hero said that he supposedly looked in on Katrina, saw that she was full of energy, drew conclusions, and left. Charlie said that he saw Keeney only briefly in the morning. The guy was very sad and depressed because he lost his arm. Keeney is glad that Khan found him, calling the hero the ghost of the sword, who was able to restore his hand. Khan is incredibly sorry that Keeney's hand could not be saved. If the hero had been a little stronger, then perhaps such consequences would not have happened. Keeney calmed the hero down. Fortunately, he has a skill, so this disadvantage does not really hinder his activities. The hero admitted that he climbed the testing tower like crazy just for his own height. Kini said that it wasn't that bad because just this thought made the hero much stronger. But the strong must always help the weak, at least that is Kini's life credo. The hero also realized a lot in this battle. It turns out he forgot something very important. However, Keen can rest assured that although the hero is strong, he is not a psychopathic player who abuses power. When Kini first met the hero at the test, he had no idea what was going on in Khan's mind. Kini started smoking, and Khan saw him without a mask for the first time. Then the guy remembered that he had completely forgotten to introduce himself. After all the interviews and photo sessions, the hero acquired a new tailcoat and equipment. These 3 days on Earth were filled with endless chaos for the hero. He definitely didn't want to become so famous. What the hero certainly didn't expect was that Kini would turn out to be the Lightning Emperor. Even among the 30 S-rank hunters, he was rightfully considered the strongest. The guy defended the portals with a speed that other hunters could not even dream of. He was a true hero of Korea. Kini told the hero that if he needed help in the future, Khan could call him at any time. The guy was not averse to recruiting him. The hero's time is up and it's time to become stronger again. So the hero is sent back to the testing tower. Khan returned to the 11th floor waiting room, having learned some lessons from the fight with Hamel. Or to be more precise, it was the hero's endurance that was quickly running out. And also Ashen Blood, a skill that boasts superior efficiency among all of Khan's skills. It's time for the hero to acquire a new skill that will allow him to instantly restore stamina. Han managed to synthesize a B-rank Bloodseeker skill. All the blood that flows out of the user's body will automatically be restored little by little at regular intervals. It turns out that now the hero will be able to extract his life, stamina, and mana from blood. This also means that Khan can control blood, and so it is. The hero can now control blood in the literal sense of the word. Afterwards, Khan decided to improve the Eye of Truth, and as a result he got something unreal, the skill of the Fire Dragon's Eye. And finally the Flaming Sword, which is what Hamel used to destroy an entire district. It turns out that only those who are worthy of the Flame Sword stage can awaken the true ability of the Bloody Sky Demon Blade. After receiving all the new items, the hero did not hesitate and went to the 11th floor. At the entrance, the hero was greeted and asked to stop at the temple for verification. From now on, Khan will not go through the tests given by the god of testing, and these tests will continue until his death. The guy doesn't understand at all what kind of wind blew such a stupid, in his opinion, adventurer into the temple. But he still began to explain that first comes the body, and at the very end, the mentality is tested. In each testing room, there will be a high priest waiting. The hero will have to either convince or kill to proceed to the next room. The guy started by checking the body. The hero suddenly activated his Bloodseeker skill. Khan killed the guy with a direct blow and absorbed his soul. Many administrators were amazed by the hero's composure. The hero picked up an object from the guy, a mirror that the high priest daily imbued with his divinity. Khan thought about it and decided to encourage the user to prove his destiny. In the next room, a girl was waiting for the hero, who didn't think that such an adventurer would get to her so quickly. The hero greeted the girl nicely, but she threw a chair at him. If she started using force, then there will be a body check here too. The girl has chi energy, which the hero himself once used. Han didn't hesitate and activated the power of the Chi Master Sword, then activated the Lightning Sword key skill. The girl did not expect such an outcome, that an ordinary adventurer took possession of a complete aura. Khan does not understand the girl at all. If she is able to use such power, then what is stopping her from doing the same? The girl explained that she was just a little surprised that such a guy, who had no hint of divine power, possessed such a powerful fencing technique. The priestess jumped up, and the hero thought that this must be a fatal blow, because divine power always reaches its target. According to the first priest, there is no mandatory need to kill the priest in order to break through the gate. The girl herself does not know the answer, and said that most likely it will become impossible if the hero acts as if he is in no way inferior to God. Khan only asked how many gates would remain after the girl, but this angered her, that the hero was too impudent, as if he considered the battle a victory in his favor. The priestess replied that the hero should ask such questions only after he had defeated her. The hero activated instant acceleration and pinned the girl to the wall, saying that he had won. The priestess does not understand at all when Khan managed to grab her. The girl, completely confused, asked if the hero was really going to take her by force or something like that. The hero's administrators, narrowing their eyes, began to wait for an answer in embarrassment, But Khan is not fond of nasty things. The girl believes the hero, so she decided to tell him, "There are only 2 body checks left, after which the faith check will begin at the 5th gate and end at the 6th. But besides this, the girl warned the hero that before challenging the 7th gate, she would advise him to think once about giving up. It turns out that no one has ever managed to pass through the 7th gate. Everyone who entered there went crazy or died in agony, bleeding to death. The Khan asked the girl that if there was a way to pass through the gate without killing her, then let her tell the hero everything about the 7th room. But the priestess is not afraid of death at all. In any case, even if she dies, she will only end up next to the god." The hero made a decision for himself. The longer he delayed doing this, the more disgusting he would feel. For the first time, Khan was not in the mood to absorb someone's soul because he did not want to kill the girl. In the next 3rd room, the hero met Rasul, the one who, in his opinion, would become the sword for testing. From now on, he was going to test the hero's martial arts. The hero must prove it, and only then will he pass through the next gate. Although Rasul's aura blade is in an unstable state, it is clearly a flaming sword. Already on the 3rd test, the hero deals with a flaming sword. Now the hero will have to risk his life. But there is a problem that the power of Rasul's sword is inferior to the power of the hero himself. No matter how much Han attacks, only his chi energy suffers. Rasul told Khan that no matter how hard he tried, he would not be able to break the sword. Only someone who could deal with what was invisible to the eye could break it. Even though the opponent is weak, he still wields the sword, just like when someone who studies worse passes exams with better results. The Khan promised to break the enemy's sword at any cost, which happened. The hero learned the real difference. The principle of activating the flaming sword, it is a willpower dense enough to be expressed in real physical strength. Rasul said that it was not at all that imperfect flaming sword borrowed from the god of testing, but the real thing, so the hero passed the test. The hero was surprised that the Reaper was more interested in the achievements of others than in his own death. The fact that the hero understood the whole essence at once makes Rasul's heart tremble with bliss. Khan did everything so quickly that his opponent did not feel pain, after which he continued on his way. The skill of necromancy brought the ability to extract the enemy's power. It is only B rank, but such enormous possibilities have already been revealed. Khan's statistics have already approached 3-digit numbers. When the hero studied, wanting to become a hunter, he considered it something unattainable. In the next room, the hero did not notice anyone, which seemed very strange. But above the hero hovered something like an angel, who was surprised that Rasul had left this mortal world. Most of the administrators asked the hero to be very careful, because in front of him is a real opponent who uses real skills of mastering the released chi energy. The enemy noticed that Khan didn't really want to waste time talking, so he decided to start the test right away. The enemy's name is Chiron, an apostle candidate serving the god of testing. Khan himself was convinced that the enemy was radiating a huge amount of energy that could not be compared to what the previous ones had. These rays, reflected in the mirrors, greatly irritate the hero. The hero must attack Chiron before he starts attacking endlessly with his beams. Compared to the previous room, the hero actually began to feel the flaming sword. Chiron attacks with a beam from a distance, and in close combat uses his wings to disrupt the senses of balance, after which he counterattacks with a flaming sword. But despite the simplicity of the scheme, it will also be quite difficult to quickly figure out the mirrors. After all, having broken into smaller fragments, the mirrors will split that beam even more, so it will be simply impossible to dodge. The administrators are not worried about the hero, which means Khan will be able to easily defeat the annoying fly. Chiron launched the most powerful beam strike at the mirror pieces, but Khan activated the contractor's shield skill and reached the maximum damage absorption limit. All the released damage went through Chiron's body. Chiron doesn't understand such a thing because there were no signs of magic training on the hero. Khan did not flee the battlefield or lose the battle. In accordance with the verification law, Chiron declared that all physical checks were completed successfully. After absorbing his soul, the hero released the enemy's power, the divine power of C+. We are talking about the power that the priestesses here used like mana. Khan feels some kind of energy penetrate his heart, but it doesn't circulate. The administrators don't understand why the divine power has penetrated into the core of chi energy, which means that possessing such power is something extremely significant. In the next room, the hero was met by a little grandfather, who asked if this was the hero who was overcome by the madness of martial arts. The hero did not quite understand the meaning, but his grandfather explained to him that victory after victory, Isn't that the goal of growing endlessly to become the strongest? Khan agrees that he wanted to become stronger, but it seems like his grandfather is greatly exaggerating. The enemy suddenly appeared behind Khan and said that no, he was not exaggerating at all, having read the hero's thoughts. The Khan turned around and wanted to strike, but the enemy asked him to stop getting excited, because these gates do not check his body. Little by little, Khan began to go crazy, as if the enemy had penetrated the hero's mind. The strength left the hero's body, and he saw his inner world. The old man said that Khan had successfully passed the test and could go further, but the hero did not understand how this could happen. Initially, the fifth gate begins with the contemplation of mental images. Whoever has an unshakable will have the right to look into their own world of images. The old man felt this unshakable will in the hero, the will to cut the throat of anyone in order to become stronger. The enemy feels the hero's desire to kill anyone and become even stronger. All these feelings are hidden in the depths of consciousness. The old man said that if the hero wanted to kill him, then let him do so. Fortunately, he would be able to find himself in the arms of God. But the hero said that he would not kill him. The enemy has already said that the test has been passed, so the hero sees no point in killing a person without any reason. The enemy praised the hero and wished him luck in passing all the stages of the test. In the next room, the surface of the mirror was swallowed by darkness, and soon the hero found himself in a void where there was not a glimmer of light. As expected, the hero again found himself in the world of mental images, meeting a girl behind him. The Reaper from the last trial planted a seed so that the hero could enter the world of mental images. The girl asked the hero not to worry too much. She promised to take good care of his physical shell. Her words only make Khan feel worse. The priestess once again does not understand why people are so cruel, because the hero rudely answered about the girl to himself. If the girl wants, then the hero's neck will be pierced in an instant. The Khan merely asked how he should test his faith. The space in which the hero finds himself is a world of mental images. Here he simply needs to be able to see his own world. The world of a person's mental images depends largely on his beliefs, and it is created on their basis, but no one is able to see this spectacle. Thus, the hero must be able to see the essence of this world of mental images, where there is nothing. Priestess Eileen, serving the god of testing, announced the beginning of the sixth test. The hero began to drown in an instant, without having time to realize anything. Eileen asked the hero if he was very surprised, because the pain would be similar to real pain, and he would have to find a solution to this problem. Otherwise, the hero will drown without any water around. Khan interrupted Eileen's speech and activated the Tranquil Mind skill. As long as the hero is not subject to panic, he is able to hold his breath underwater while conscious. What's more important is that for a moment the hero felt a tingling sensation in his fingertips. The hero's willpower really impressed the priestess. She never expected that the hero would not only break free from the bonds of mental images, but would also be able to move his body. Eileen understands that the hero is able to protect himself even on an unconscious level. She's shocked by what kind of monster this Khan is. She decided to keep a secret that the hero's actions almost left the priestess without a head on her shoulders. Gradually, Khan began to feel his entire body. Eileen lost the meaning of this test, because the hero in reality in the world of images should not feel anything. But the hero in just 2 hours was able to completely regain control over his body. Khan almost choked on such information, because according to his calculations, no more than a minute had passed since he had arrived here. It turns out that in reality, time moves much faster than in the world of mental images. If Khan spends most of the remaining 7 days in these 6 gates, he may die from the penalty for failing the test. The hero regained the feeling of his body through the use of the power of the serene mind. This means that the hero will be able to activate this skill, after which he used the Fire Dragon's Eye skill. The Khan saw something that looked like a sea of blood. Eileen is confused, because for some reason the world of mental images has opened up. The priestess asked Khan if he was really a man. Otherwise, how could one explain the presence of wings on his back? Khan saw his world of mental images, which he saw with the help of the Fire Dragon's Eye, although he has no idea what this could mean at all. But the surrounding environment looks extremely ominous and alarming. The hero asked the priestess if the whole world was really the hero's doing, but the girl did not understand what had happened to her world. It turns out that the hero was able to pass the test, but he does not understand at all how this is connected with faith. The test of faith is a way of recognizing oneself. The purpose of the test was to encounter the world of mental images created through the processes of faith, thinking, and action. Khan will overcome his pathetic past and become stronger without losing his humanity. That's what Eileen read in the hero's mental world. But even having such simple desires and thoughts, remaining faithful at the same time is another story. Eileen wished good luck to Khan, the adventurer who did not seem human. The system reported that Khan had reached the 7th gate. The hero saw a portal above him, but in fact it turned out to be the eye of the god of verification. Khan's consciousness suddenly lost control, as if someone else was controlling his body. The god of verification's gaze turned to the challenger Khan, as if he was beginning to feel sleepy. But it looks more like a situation when you are faced with something insurmountable. An eye simply appeared in front of Khan. Is this really a god? Khan doesn't understand anything. Without control over himself, the hero began to have various memories that tormented his soul. The hero got tired of standing there helplessly and watching himself being trampled, so he activated the Ashen Blood skill. A hero lives to overcome any challenge that befalls him. Khan doesn't know whether he will be able to destroy this pupil or not, but if there is even a small chance, then the blow will be delivered. The god of proof values the hero's spirit and is glad to see such a candidate with such high spiritual strength after a long time. The enemy ordered the hero to prove himself by looking into his eyes, after which he announced the beginning of the final test. Suddenly the eye disappeared and the hero thought that God really does exist. In front of him, Khan met the same mirror from the test with Eileen. The system asked the hero to establish contact with himself in the future and begin synchronization. Khan touched the mirror with the tip of his finger as the mentality test began. The hero must pass the most appropriate tests to verify that his beliefs will not change in the future. Khan got to the first test, where he saw that same Reaper. The guy was crying and looking for his mirror, which the hero took. Turning back, the hero was very surprised to see Christmas in South Korea. The hero noticed himself from the future underneath him and stopped understanding anything at all. Khan watched himself to find out what to do next. But what he saw made him wonder what would happen next. The hero never expected that in the future he would be cutting everyone left and right. Khan's chest is torn apart by pain, as if someone is tearing chunks of flesh off him while he's still alive. It hurts Khan to feel this disgusting whirlwind of mixed emotions, guilt, madness, and anger. The Reaper from the first test appeared behind the hero and asked if the hero had taken his mirror. Khan lost control of himself again, and the system reported that from now on, all his skills and powers would be sealed. During the mental test, where psychological defense is especially important, the power of the calm mind was blocked. The Khan from the future said that if he had known about this, he would have crossed the line from the very beginning. The hero does not understand what is happening to him in the future, whether he really became obsessed with power, but he decided for himself that he will never go that far. If Hans succeeds in removing the abnormal chi intoxication status, his magic chain skill mastery will drop to the maximum 10%. Suddenly, Khan saw himself in the world of Murim, where he asks the people to call the head of the Murim people. If they call the leader, the hero from the future will save the lives of those who are here in front of him. The leader had heard about the hero, who was nicknamed the Ghost of the Sword, and now, having seen the hero in person, Murametz agrees with this nickname. The Khan from the future did not communicate, but began the usual murder of everyone around him. The leader asked the hero if he was ashamed, since he had promised not to touch anyone when he himself killed all the members of the Union. Khan replied that he was not ashamed at all, because these worthless nobodies were just his fighting resources, a resource that did not make him tired or sick. After all the words were said, the hero cold-bloodedly cut the head off the chieftain's shoulders. It hurts Khan that, seeing all this, he is consumed by thoughts that if the level does not decrease, then he will definitely become himself from the past. In the future, Kini stops the hero from committing such inhumane acts. The hero really expects to remain unpunished. The girl does not understand why the hero acts this way, killing innocent people for no reason in order to become stronger. The Khan replied that he kills because all people are raw material for his growth. Kini can control lightning, so in such weather, the hero had better prepare to give up the ghost. No matter how much Khan praised himself, his chatter had led to an irreversible point. The girl begged Khan with all her might to finally come to his senses. One wrong move and this crazy entity will be able to absorb the hero. It feels like this absorption is capable of completely destroying his mind. Before it was too late to fix everything, the hero began to look for a solution. Khan can no longer endure this torment. The psychological shock is too great and the hero cannot say anything. He does not understand whether it is painful or pleasant. The hero remembered that it all started with a mirror. He activated the effect of the divine mirror of the high priest. At that moment, A divine shield began to surround the hero, dispelling all levels of clouding of the mind. Suddenly, the Khan from the future felt something pleasant and lost control over his body. The real Khan breaks through the future Khan, tearing his bad self in half. The hero proved that his beliefs remained unchanged no matter what. Khan passed a mental test. It turned out that he had been standing in front of a mirror all this time. The god of testing is satisfied with the results of the hero's test, so he wants to meet face to face in person. God forcibly called the hero to the Holy Land. All administrators associated with monitoring the hero were forced to stop monitoring the tests. Khan entered the sacred abode of the god of testing. The very meeting that no one could have predicted happened. No one had ever managed to see the god of verification. God senses the divine power within the hero. He asked Khan if he is an administrator, but Khan is just a pretender. God did not look into the Tower of Trials for a long time, and many interesting things happened in it. Being an apostle of a pseudo-deity, he created a real thing. It all sounds like the hero did something great, but in reality he just accidentally gained divine power after killing Chiron. The god of verification is shocked by this, that the hero himself extracted the divinity and does not know about it. The hero performed the extraction process, completely removing all traces of the god, which means he should know everything. God asked and told everything he wanted. Khan was left with too many questions to which he never found the answers. Khan never knew what divinity really meant. Finally, the god said that the void always seeks a gap through which it can penetrate the mind. This is something that the hero should beware of. Finally, the god gave the hero advice not to trust other gods because now they would consider the hero an enemy. The system congratulated Khan on overcoming the 11th floor of the testing tower, and as a reward, the hero received an ancient inspection mirror and 70,000 points. The Khan thought about God because he is the being who descended upon the hero and told him more than everything the hero had heard before. The hero does not understand what this divine power, administrators, is for. It is not clear why the tower is doing all this. The only thing that consoles the hero is the fact that even if the gods are hostile, they will not be able to touch the hero as long as Khan is under the protection of the tower. Khan suddenly realized that administrators were also a kind of deity and whether they could be trusted. The hero decided to go to the world of steel blood to his administrator. The girl was very worried about her subordinate and asked how he was feeling. But the hero took out his sword and pointed it towards the girl. In desperation, the hero asked that the administrators had also conspired with the tower and were using the hero for unknown reasons. Khan seemed to have gone crazy. His brain was filled with thoughts about the administrator and the head. What exactly connects them together? What the hero says is complete nonsense, in the girl's opinion, so the hero should regain his composure. Khan is mad and finds his mind clearer than ever. The girl screamed at the hero with all her might to convey to him that if he put all his strength into his blow, something terrible would happen. And so it happened. Khan divided the house into two parts, which the girl does not intend to forgive. The hero tried to run away from the girl, but the administrator pushed Khan face down into the snow. Khan finally came to his senses and asks the girl for forgiveness so that she can untie all his bonds. The girl agrees that she should untie her subordinate, but she worries that the next time the hero visits, there will be nothing left of her house. The administrator believed that the remnants of herself, the hero, were not completely removed and were entrenched in Khan's personality. Even if that entity was greatly distorted, it was still another future of the hero. In other words, the suspicions about the administrators might not have been entirely false. No one is able to read the tower's intentions. This fact remains unchanged even if anyone is the administrator. As far as Khan knows, the tower has never revealed its will to a challenger before, so it's even crazier that the tower would make specific wishes for one challenger. The guy explained to the girl that the god of verification said that the tower had some kind of plans for the hero. As soon as the administrator heard about the god, she immediately understood where the doubts came from. The girl is glad that the hero liked the tea, which is based on black dragon urine. At that very moment, Khan completely lost his desire to drink anything. Khan had one last question left. The girl had previously said that she had a long-standing wish that she wanted to fulfill. The hero said that the administrator of the White Crane had already told the hero everything a long time ago, which made the administrator of Steel Blood blush with anger. Khan greatly underestimates himself, which results in an over-obsession with height. So the girl thought that for the sake of growth, she would be able to make the hero challenge a test related to a long-standing desire, to which Khan would fly like a moth to a flame. The girl does not know what meaning the hero puts into the word giftedness, but soon Khan will understand how much he underestimates himself, because the test on the 12th floor is a fight with himself. Khan began to think about the gift, the God-given qualities, that is, the three main qualities of a hunter: acquiring skills, increasing stats, awakening a unique characteristic. The hero was not destined to be born with one of these qualities. Skills were not acquired, stats did not increase, and the unique characteristic did not manifest. If Khan had anything resembling talent, he would already be a renowned hunter without ever entering the tower's territory. After that very incident with Hamel, one of the rewards was a file that increased skill. Katrin gave hers back, and now the hero has 3 files. The hero went to the 12th floor, the theme of which is overcoming boundaries. Khan has to kill his clone in 48 hours. The reproduced version of the hero will know all the strategies that Han will now use, as well as clone all talents. If the hero is facing a full-fledged clone, then this battle is a good opportunity to objectively assess his strength. Khan feels as if time has slowed down around him. The hero was not surprised that the clone would use a combination of the steel blood sword and counterattack shield. But what Han certainly didn't expect was that the clone would be able to transform the counterattack shield into a second sword of steel blood. Although the hero is an original, he has never used the dual sword technique before. When using the modified counterattack shield, an excessive amount of spiritual energy and mana is consumed. Currently, Han's item count is far ahead of his clone, so the indomitable will skill that Han absorbed has been activated. If the clone maximizes his combat concentration and demonstrates a focus beyond imagination, he will have a good chance of winning. But the most serious problem is the swordsmanship used by the clone. Although it is clearly based on the technique of fencing with dual swords, it is clearly that bastard's sword. Khan has no doubt that this is the sword of that very psychopath Hamel. Although the hero saw this sword in action only once, he still clearly remembers every detail. A terrifying mastery, like the power of a god, before which Khan's skills turned into nothing. Not skill or strength, but pure art. These techniques made the hero truly wonder if they could exceed skill altogether, just as Hamel had said. Since Hamel's fencing art is not a skill, Han believed that he would not be able to learn this skill. The hero led his clone into a trap and rejoiced at his victory over himself. But the hero's vision failed and the clone somehow magically managed to escape. In exactly the same magical way, the clone appeared behind the hero and activated the sword skill. The clone struck but did not understand how the hero managed to survive. The hero entered a state of concentration that exceeded his limit. The side effects can lead to unpredictable psychological reactions from which the hero simply went wild. With the help of a recent new blood skill, the hero decided to put an end to this battle. But even after such an attack, the clone regenerated its health. The administrator of Steel Blood watches the hero and understands that he has no opportunity to help Khan directly. But he also cannot silently watch from the sidelines. The system blocked the girl's messages to prevent messages with recommendations from appearing, and the girl simply sent her contractor a cup of tea. Hana is annoyed by the fact that he doesn't understand that the confrontation with the shitty version of himself from the future didn't end during the previous test. The hero fought for his future self because he was on the verge of death, and there was not a drop of gratitude in his eyes. The clone, in turn, only provokes the hero, saying that the hero has trained for so long, but even now, having risen to the 12th floor, is not able to look at himself objectively. The hero wanted to attack the clone out of anger, but it simply put up a barrier. The clone decided to tell the hero that if the hero does not get rid of the habit of relying on skills, he will not be able to use true art. Finally, Khan received a message from his administrator about receiving tea. When consumed, mental strength and immunity are increased, and the mind becomes clearer. The hero drank the tea and realized that when his other version fought, he clearly felt a sense of liberation from dependence on skills. Khan's thoughts speed up and his mad ego awakens again. But finally, the hero himself is able to feel how his thoughts have accelerated. Enlightenment happened in a single moment that seemed to last forever. The hero must give up all dependence on the skills he has accumulated so far. The only thing Han needs to do is empty everything and adapt to something new. Khan abandons common sense and eventually cleanses his mind of stupid stubbornness. From that moment on, the hero decided to change everything 180 degrees. The hero is now able to use the swordsmanship of Hamel, who previously overwhelmed the hero with his power. The highest speed using the grace of the wind and instant acceleration makes itself felt. As the battle with the clone continues, it becomes easier and easier for Han to understand what is happening. Now the hero looks at the fight not from the point of view, but from the point of view of technology, and begins to understand the principles of the technology itself. Having realized the principle of the technique, the hero feels the futility of using two swords. And this clone, instead of fully mastering Hammel's swordsmanship, focuses on imitating the psychopath. By practicing Hammel's swordsmanship, the hero must focus even more on strengthening the flame sword. No matter how much the hero attacks, the clone always instantly transforms the sword into a shield, avoiding the crisis. Just a second ago, it was about rough and aggressive swordplay, but now the clone had switched to soft swordplay with smooth and measured movements. Soft swordsmanship. This is another swordsmanship technique that Hamill demonstrated. It is unclear how far the clone will go in copying the psychopath. As expected, Khan will not be able to achieve an easy victory without any risk. The hero also decided to follow in the footsteps of his double and activated a counterattack shield, which surprised the clone. The hero's copy sword charges much faster. The hero should move on to a small adventure. The clone parried Han's attack with the contractor's sword, a modified version of the counterattack shield. Khan also decided to charge his sword once to counterattack, and of course it broke under the weight of the ignorant attack. The hero did not lose his composure and caught the clone in a trap, after which he struck him with his sword using the blood skill. Khan was glad that he had one last blow left before victory, but his clone seemed to have gone mad and become a monster in the flesh. The hero's reflection chased after him, sweeping away everything in its path. Han is confused by the clone's drastic change in attack tactics. Fortunately, the counterattack shield's recovery time has expired, and the hero will be able to at least somehow resist. This bastard monster completely lost his mind and began to blow up his own body. But as strange as it may seem, as a surprise attack in close combat, such a technique can be very effective. But because the clone has gone crazy and is constantly making explosions, the ashen blood will absorb too much stamina. Therefore, when the stamina reaches 0, the clone's attacks will stop. The counterattack shield skill has reached its maximum damage absorption limit, meaning the hero will be able to reflect it into a clone. With a well-aimed blow, Han hit his clone straight in the face. The shield counterattack skill instantly released the accumulated damage, and the clone was finally defeated. Khan passed the excruciating 12th floor of the testing tower and received the gray crown of the ancient Emperor A. The combat concentration skill deactivated and was about to rebound, causing Khan to vomit blood. Khan is lucky that he has the ashen blood skill. Without it, he wouldn't have been able to get this far. All sanctions for sending messages were lifted, and the hero learned that the tea was sent to him by the administrator. Khan is shocked that so many administrators were watching his battle on the 12th floor. Suddenly, Khan noticed that the administrators who said only what they wanted and then simply disappeared when they lost interest. The hero is tired of being in a state of misunderstanding. Why exactly him? Why exactly he is receiving such intense attention? Perhaps there is a place for an expanded system that allows administrators to contact the hero with a request. If this is the case, then it seems that as the system expands in the future, administrators not associated with the hero himself will also be able to gain some benefit. But it all seems wrong when everyone just starts bombarding the hero with messages. If the admins really need something from the hero, then they should just send a force as support. Then Khan will definitely remember them later when the system is expanded. What's really important now is that the enemy not only has the same stats as the hero, but also the same skills and powers. By absorbing the spirit of one's double, one's mastery increased by 28%. And it also became possible to attempt to extract divinity.